Welcome back to the Project Manga Podcast, where we cover One Piece, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Mashle, Dr. Stone, and Jujutsu Kaisen week to week. Back this week covering Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 8. I'm your host, Knox.
What's up, y'all? It's Kiko.
And Nickums.
And before we get into the discussion tonight, of course, we'd like you to take a look at the link down in the description. That's going to be where you find us on all of our individual social media accounts, online communities like Discord, ways that you can listen to the Project Manga Podcast wherever you normally listen to them, and ways that you can support what we do via our online store or Patreon. But getting into the discussion tonight, Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 8, how do we feel?
Yeah, but good week, you know. I mean,
yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Kaisen, I feel like has the biggest chapter this week.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's like, I don't know what you guys think the best chapter is, but I mean, this is probably the biggest from like a couple different perspectives.
Chapter of the week,
Right.
I think just, I mean, and as big as I mean, as much as I loved Hero's chapter last week, this chapter didn't keep the pace that I was looking for, so it can't be like Jujutsu is just monumental.
Too
this
much.
week. You can't,
Too much.
It's just too much for sure.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, let's get into it.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So getting into Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me get it pulled up here. Actually, I forgot to pull it up. Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 136, the Shibuya Incident, part 53, and I think this is officially the conclusion of this arc with this chapter. I think they're saying that the next chapter will not have a Shibuya Incident title. So if that is the case,
it could be like a hidden inventory premature death thing where you get a little couple chapters of an epilogue of the arc or something,
and they'll just name that something different. Yeah, but it's still like a part of this. Yeah, they'll probably include the aftermath with a different title, but
Right.
But 53 straight chapters.
I think there was one also that wasn't a part, right? There was like a few chapters ago that it wasn't Shibuya Incident, right? They took a break for a week or something.
Yeah, for the Nobara flashback, I think, for those chapters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So real quick, I just want to say, because Schnooty sent me a screenshot of this Yuki. And he sent me a screenshot of this Yuki when it was just the Raws, and he was like, I knew Yuki was gonna be a tall girl with a big butt, and I was like, yo, yes.
Yeah.
That's all you can take from the Raw, you know. That's all you get.
yeah. But getting into the chapter, holy shit, you guys.
I mean, like, now that you say that, I mean, isn't that what Yuji said? That's what the kind of girl he likes or whatever?
Yeah, and Yuki, is like, Toto's mentor or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, the full circling is just...
Right.
Yeah.
It's good to see, yeah.
But yeah, here on the first page, you get this inner monologue of her buying time for LaRue to, make his move. So,
which is the dude with the nipples, right?
Yeah, well, pasties on the nipples, or
the dude pasties. with the heart nipples, yeah. So so that's interesting then, because then that means that like when they were introduced, obviously they're talking about Ghetto, so we could assume that they were aligned with this Ghetto, but like it sounds now like they're only aligned with the true Ghetto, which they know is being occupied by this brain. So are they playing along with a secret plan on the side with Yuki? Obviously, I think is what's going on here. So you have Nanako and Mimiko, obviously, were the huge, fangirls of
that's why it's hard to say, because they were so adamant against whatever they were trying to do. They're like, no, fuck that. They got our Ghetto's body, so we're going to get his body back, right? So like,
there was that argument that they had.
Yeah. So like it's just really hard to like pinpoint exactly what was going on in that conversation, because it still feels like the other people that weren't the high school girls wanted to follow Get To, but I mean, you like you're saying, it could have been Yuki that they wanted to follow all along, and then those girls are just like, I don't know, that plan wouldn't have included getting Ghetto's body back, whatever Yuki's plan is, because it doesn't matter.
I think that was what the argument was, is that like LaRue and them were like, yo, we gotta do what this brain dude wants until we can get into position and do whatever we're planning on the side.
Right.
And Mimiko and Nanako are like, fuck that, the body, hi, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Like, they're like, nah, bro, like, we're not really about, I don't know, there's some kind of disconnect there.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense because what's the point of saving a corpse, right? Like, other than, of course, there's like, tradition and whatever, honoring the body and all that stuff, which these girls seem to be hung up on, but like the more, well-rounded, experienced jujutsu sorcerers are like, fuck that corpse. It's a corpse now. Like, we got other shit to handle here. Yeah. Like, let's just get to out of here. So, because at the end of the day, that's like honoring him in that way as well. It's just not so one-sided, straight linear plan of we're just going to get him that body back and we don't give a fuck how. We're just going to fight him. Yeah.
Now that I'm remembering that chapter with their argument, it makes perfect sense that, like, because I remember, like, when we were reviewing it, we were like trying to get to the bottom of exactly what they were arguing about. Obviously, Gege kept, the real situation vague, obviously, because I think it's tying into this Yuki situation now. So I feel pretty good that that what we just discussed right now was like what actually went down in that scene from chapters ago. But
that's a great reminder. I'd forgotten a lot about that.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, moving into this disagreement with Getsu about the next step in evolution, basically, right? Optimizing versus eradicating Juryoku,
Yeah.
And
this is going back to their conversation in the premature death chapters. Obviously, we know that.
Yes.
But okay, so now that we have more information, obviously, since then, when Yuki was talking to Geto in that flashback, she broke it down. The conversation was pretty easy to understand. It was either kill everybody that doesn't have cursed energy or give everyone cursed energy were like the ultimatums back then, I believe, in their argument. So now that they're having a conversation again, and Yuki says the next stage of humanity lies in breaking away from cursed energy, we can assume, nobody needs cursed energy anymore. And like no one sorcerers anymore. And Geto's like, no, it lies in optimizing the cursed energy. And then obviously he explains like his methods for that. But then at the end of it, he says, what I need, I'm studying these humans to find out all of the potential that they have so that I can find a human that can help me achieve this goal that I have, which he's not even sure of. He says that he doesn't even know exactly what it is that he's looking for, but he can see it like glimmering at the end of like a tunnel or something like that. And that's why he's doing this research. I think that the lies in breaking away from cursed energy part is because Yuki wants to upgrade everyone to positive energy because it instantly disintegrates curses, as we've seen with the Maharaga fight against Sukuna. That's literally what he said. He's like, this is positive energy. It's meant for fighting curses. Why fight fire with fire when you can fight fire with water? You know what I mean? So I think that would be a crazy way to take this. In my opinion, because like I'm sitting here going, how do they fight this situation? You know what I mean?
What you're saying here with this like positive energy stuff, and like this is very interesting because I didn't really put this together, but like later in the chapter, right? Very very soon, Yuki is saying like, if we did this, right? If we took Japan, where most of the cursed technique users are, and kind of upgrade all of their like optimize their cursed energy and like kind of monopolize it, a certain superpower, and the Middle East wouldn't remain silent. It's like, what do you mean? Like, why them? And now that you say that, like positive energy, right? Positive energy, not curses, maybe divine beings, maybe angels, that kind of thing, right? United States, immensely religious country. Middle East, immensely religious area, right?
Divine beings, whereas Japan is like horrors and evil and bad monsters and like their lore or whatever. And they have divine beings too, but it's a lot more on the malevolent side of things inside of their, supernatural lore. You know what I mean? So exactly. But you are spinning right now because America has very positive figures that they look up to. You know what I mean? And hold on, bro.
I mean, Christianity and Islam are the two most, practiced religions in the world. There you go.
Exactly.
I didn't think of any of this, what you guys are talking about, so just keep going. I got
a
whole other direction.
What you did say one time is that, I think it was a combination of you and Nick, you guys said that Japan probably has more cursed energy available because of how superstitious they are.
Yes,
you know
based on
So I thought that's what this was basically saying when it started talking about it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure
that's the way I took it.
That makes sense, right? Yeah.
Right.
Well, so I mean, I could just explain kind of quickly how I took this too. Is that so because Japan has a monopoly on cursed energy and Jujutsu sorcerers based on their beliefs, made all the sense in the world. And then you have Tengen. Tengen's barrier is very much so needed to keep this cycle moving, basically. And the way I'm taking it is, okay, if we move this direction, America and the Middle East, and man, I didn't connect any of that religion stuff. I just thought, hey, these are America's the poster country for war, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
we don't let any country
have. Yeah, we don't let any country be stronger than us. Yeah,
exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And same with
the Middle East
is a similar situation.
But
on the
there's arms race,
reactionary side of things.
Yes, correct. And it's just a huge war zone constantly based on the three superpowers fucking basically fighting each other, and they just happen to be concentrated in between fucking, but it's like they're not going to sit idly by and let Japan just have this superpower, some fucking, superhuman abilities that these other countries, are clearly going to want. So they're basically going to torture their people, and they're going to create cursed energy by way of despair and just totally do human experimentation in the worst fucking possible shit to create sorcerers and Juryoku in their countries.
Or maybe even just accidentally doing that, you know what I mean? Just because they want to get to the bottom of things, and they're going to start doing more to learn more and start doing more to get in farther inside of like what's going on, at the root of things. Yeah. And to get there, you'll probably have to do a bunch of fucked up shit that will create more fear in your country. Once you see that they're moving like nuclear options into place and shit, what do? You start repositioning your pieces, you know what I mean? And what that looks like over here, history will tell you, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I really like the positive energy, you guys. That's shit you're talking about with, divine. Exactly.
It makes the most sense to me, because I mean, like we've been talking about how authors in Weekly Shonen Jump have been doing a lot of like, the Kansas City shuffle, or the look over here, like while I do something over here type shit. Breaking away from cursed energy, that's bolded. You know what I mean? And it's like, obviously we're supposed to think Yuki doesn't want anyone to have, we're supposed to not need cursed energy, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, even if all the humans abandon cursed energy, people are still going to fear things. Cursed energy is still going to exist. You just want to disarm everyone? No, you want to upgrade them to a better power. You know what I mean?
Also, another piece of like the positive energy explanation for this, scenario is that why would the United States not remain silent as a superpower? There's still Russia, there's still China, there's still the other superpowers, like they're not in play here. So it's like, but why aren't they in play? Well, Russia, China, not religious, you know what I mean? Like way less religious. Europe, not very religious, you know what I mean? But the United States, Middle East, incredibly religious. So then like tap into maybe not exactly like specifically Christianity and Islam, but like, there's like Zoroastrianism and like all these like, old folk religions that developed into these things, right? So there's like a lot of, just general beliefs of all sorts of positive spirits, you know what I mean? But certainly positive, right? Certainly like very anti-demon, anti-devil, that kind of stuff.
I thought about that too. I'm like, why the fuck would China and Russia not be on the map? Like I thought about that so much, and I'm just like, I never once thought like, okay, just because of Christianity and Islam and these two fucking, areas. That just makes a shit ton of sense. And I really, really like that. I mean, obviously, positive energy being dropped here towards the end of this arc, and we've never heard of it thus far, just makes it feel really good to like start off this new arc, to kind of just pepper it in here and there, not give you full on, exposition for it or anything, but we're going to kind of discover it throughout this next arc act. I feel like calling them acts because of whatever I read on the internet that said the end of Shibuya is act 1 of 3. I don't know if that's true, but like I just have that in my head as like we're moving to act 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and that feels good.
Even without that, like it still does feel like we're moving into a wholly new situation than like anything before in the series. So like second act feels right. I mean, it's the first big arc. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a massive tone shift in the overall landscape of the world that we're in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
But the other thing though, helping me, or just like that makes the positive energy thing feel so much better, like better than what I was thinking, is just that like Tengen is from the Nara period, previously to the Heian period, right? Like the Nara period is before the Heian period, and that's where fucking Tengen is from. I wrote it down. 710 to 794 AD is the Nara period that he made name for himself, spreading Japanese Buddhism across the country, right? Like, and his teachings became the foundation of Jujutsu sorcerers and Juryoku. So those beliefs are heavily tied into, you know, the foundation of the Jujutsu world. And so like this Heian period comes along, which is right after. So 794, I wrote that down, 794 to 1185 AD, you know, makes a lot of sense about what Getsu is talking about at the end of this chapter about like, hey, I made these fucking vows with these people a millennia ago, right? Like I made fucking in preparation for all this fucking shit that's happening right now, which we can obviously kind of save till we want to dive deeper into that. But like that just makes a shit ton of sense that like because it's like they have 1,300 years of this energy system being developed through their beliefs, right? Like, so like it wouldn't really make any sense for other countries to just be able to start torturing their people and like just making despair shoot through the roof in these countries in order to create curses or Juryoku. Like, I mean, like in theory it makes sense, but like not when you think of like how long this has taken to really get to where it is. And we don't know like how soon Juryoku became a thing, like, or maybe it was always a thing even in this time and it just bloomed and you know, kind of took off from there. But regardless, it's just like it's really hard to think of something other than a brand new take on the energy system. Like it's just a really good path to go.
I think that's the reason why Maharaga, you know, like the fight with Maharaga and Sukuna happened was so that could be a breadcrumb, you know, or something that was laid earlier, because like we're gonna get real big, I feel like, reverse cursed energy exposition coming up pretty soon after this arc, since reverse cursed energy has been mentioned so many times since hidden inventory. It's about time for a huge exposition dump on that. And then obviously you have Sukuna fighting Maharaga and using the terminology positive energy instead of reverse cursed energy. Obviously we can say positive energy is reverse cursed energy because of the whole double negative situation, but he specifically says something different. You know what I mean? And we saw it do something other than heal. So we know that it's a wholly new situation. You know what I mean? So
I mean, you even know, you just know about it, how blue and red work, right? Like, and it's like Gojo is reversing his technique in order to do it. Like he's not turning it into positive energy, right? Like it's so
that's something that's something that I'm still like kind of hung up on, because I don't think that when what Gojo is doing is using positive energy. I still think he's using reverse curse technique. But the only reason why I said it did something other than healing, I don't think that reverse cursed energy or reverse curse technique, I don't think the only thing it can do is heal you. I just think that's the only thing that we've seen it specifically like said to be done multiple times. Now Gojo said he just reversed his red and that's why it has a bigger, you know, power output. So like sure, since that's not healing, you want to go positive energy maybe, but like I think that there's still an extra level of reverse curse technique that we don't know that involves spinning your techniques around. You know what I mean? Which is just so dumb to think about right now, because I can't think of the reverse of anybody else's fucking technique, even no matter how hard I fucking try. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yaga becomes a cursed corpse. I don't know.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Okay. Oh wait. Another thing. Oh my god. Okay, so he uses idle transfiguration here for the first time. Now that he says extraction complete, now he's using idle transfiguration. Back when he first swallowed Mahito, he blocked Mai's bullet with what I assumed was a cursed spirit, because we've seen him kind of defend against things similarly in the flashback arc. But then we had the conversation. We were like, no, he swallows it while the Uzumaki is loading. He has access to the technique. Then he shoots you with the technique and then doesn't get it. I think that's where we settled last time. But this is saying no, until the technique is finished, obviously, then you get it, and he uses it here. So he was using a curse to block last time, right?
Well, he says, I have already extracted it.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like he has free reign of the ability forever. And it just will never continue to grow either. It's at its cap. At where he's extracted it's at its cap. It will never exceed that ability, and that's why he was trying to take it at Mahito's strongest point.
Yeah. Okay. My bad.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's good to think back to that part. So that probably was still him using idle transfiguration, not naming it.
Yeah, not saying the name because we were supposed to already assume that he was using it because he got the technique. So that's cool because I was confused on that, because if this was confirming that he did use a curse to block Mai's bullet, that would be weird, because after the fact I looked back at that panel and it was like the curse had an eyeball and was crying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, exactly.
And so it's like that's obviously a human.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like, you know, a curse wouldn't just cry, you know what I mean, from being used or whatever. So cool. All right, great. I'm glad that I brought that up. But holy shit, man, this plan of his, I think it's so crazy. I think it's so crazy how we're arguing about best villain in Weekly Shonen Jump for months. And we're like Makima, Mahito, Shigaraki, whatever. And Getsu's in the background the whole time, just like, all right, all right, go ahead, have that. Now I don't think that this makes him like, you know, better than anyone else who was, you know, in the talks, but I just think that it's crazy how he was really just the villain of this entire story. The entire, like, it feels very Aizen, you know what I mean? It feels, and whenever you have a situation like that you didn't really. Now Getsu has been like revealing crazy things like for a while, you know what I mean? Since he first took the top of his head off, obviously, and like it just hasn't been stopping how deep his, you know, curtains, like, you know, go back, you know what I mean? Like, you reveal, you pull the curtain away and reveal this thing, you pull another curtain away, you know, and reveal the next thing, you know what I mean? Like, how many times are you going to do that? You know, like, that's crazy.
We got a lot more curtains to go through.
Yeah, I feel like we really do have a lot more curtains to go through. Like, him explaining this, Megumi's sister?
Yeah, I know. Tsukimi, like,
that's why she's been, bruh.
Yeah.
So did you guys notice that in episode 5 of Jujutsu Kaisen, his sister has this marking on her forehead?
No, I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. Yato showed me that like the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is wild. I mean, I thought that mark appeared as he casted it, even though it's so weird, because trying to wrap my head around all of this, like saying I cast it, because I felt like obviously he groomed these people, the two types of people, right? You got vessels basically, and you got people like Junpei who, you know, were not supposed to be sorcerers but still got a curse technique or whatever.
I think what this means is that like they weren't like born in a specific like jujutsu household, so they were never, you know, nurtured in a way to where it would make sense for their curse technique to come out naturally.
But he does say brains, right?
Yeah.
He you know, adjusted their brains for sorcery. So I mean, like, it doesn't seem like something that can just magically happen. Like, it never would have happened ever. It sounds like, right? Like,
I think this is Jujutsu Kaisen's version of Nen baptism.
Sure. I'm totally fine with that. Yeah.
But I mean, adjusted their brains for sorcery sounds like he did something using idle transfiguration on their brains, right? Like
Mahito did or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and exactly. And he's doing it remotely, and obviously there's two markings, one for each type of person, and it seems like one is to activate the cursed objects that people have ingested themselves, and the other has you know, just basically opened the brain, whatever you want to do, adjusted the brain for the Junpei types, right? So that's why I just expected like this mark to have just newly shown up on her head, even though she's been groomed for this position, because he's groomed tens, whatever, or 1,000 people for this or more. Because he said 1,000 Yuji, so I felt like that was only the 1,000 like ingested cursed object people, right? And there's still another number of Junpei types. I don't know if that's true, or maybe it's just 1,000 total.
I think it was 1,000 total, and the reason why he's saying Yuji right there is because they all have the potential of a Yuji, despite whatever the situation is, right?
Okay,
But the reason why I think that the marks have always been there, one, because the anime showed it in episode 5, and two, because he specifically says after these people came in contact with my cursed energy, when I marked them, they went in. They went into this slumber. So if she's been asleep this whole time, it's because of that mark. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wonder though, does that mean that all these other people are in comas too? Like I don't feel like that's what's happening, right? Like I
maybe she's the Junpei type, and they're sleeping while the vessels are still running around waiting for their cursed objects to be activated after he cracks the talisman. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that feels good. Because marking them with the cursed energy. The thing that I was hung up on is that if he doesn't have idle transfiguration until now, how did he mark them? But like he can mark them with energy that isn't the same as like doing anything to their brain yet. He's just marked them basically for like
so that he has a connection to them to activate my idle transfiguration.
So a back door.
Or he just has this internal remote map of everybody he's marked, and he can just send the idle transmutation to all those people. And just streamline it.
Because he's connected to them, and you have to like make contact in order for idle transfiguration to work. So his DNA is involved in this marking, I would assume, in some kind of way, probably just in the form of cursed energy, the same way APR works inside of Hakaware. So so I could see it being, you have been touched by me already. I now have idle transfiguration. I'm proccing that touch to activate my ability.
Okay.
So do we recognize the symbol at all? Like when I was reading it, it looks familiar, but it also looks to me like just like the female reproductive system, and we know like Nori Toshikamo, you know, like cursed womb death paintings or whatever. It looks very much like fallopian tubes and the womb and everything, right? Like like it definitely looks very akin to that. But like, have we seen this symbol before? I don't
remember if we have.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't remember for sure.
Knowing Gege though, it's probably in a offhand panel somewhere in chapter 13 or some shit for all we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
But how about on page 15? Looks like Yuji is confused as to why he was not poisoned by Choso's blood, even though he definitely was pierced by Choso's blood enough times to he should have been poisoned too.
Sukuna's king of poisons or whatever. There was a connection to Sukuna and poisons in the series.
But
that had me like, this confused me too, because he was like, my blood was mixed in with piercing blood. Of course it's poison. Where's the poison come from? Is his blood just poisonous because he's half
just
cursed?
Like Esso and Kechizu. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I missed a part of that. You missed a part of that.
Yeah, we came together. That's why there's multiple of us.
Yeah. So, because like I was like, man, I mean, sure, Sukuna being the king of poison, but you know me, I'm just like, hey,
maybe
man,
not king of poison, but like,
I know,
curses,
whatever.
But like poison affinity, I think. I don't know. But.
It sounds familiar. It sounds familiar.
I do remember that, but I was just still thinking like, man, Yuji's got this fucking death painting blood. He's got poison blood.
You thought this was real good for that theory. When did Momo get hit? I don't remember her taking damage. Was it Urume in just the ice layer?
I assume just the ice.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
When she slashed the fucking wind blast at him.
She went with the Ryankaku.
Yeah.
Broomkaku.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was Urume that hits her right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But how about like young Kamo being able to regulate his body temperature? Obviously that makes sense with his ability, but that's got to take a toll on you, right? Like, hey, I got to heat up to fucking 150 degrees Fahrenheit for,
blowing red scale. Fuck it.
I guess. Yeah. So that was the thing. Like that is flowing red scale basically, right?
Doping, doping. Yeah, it's like year second.
Yeah, sure. but flowing red scale. I'm sorry. Flowing red scale definitely. With the word scale in there, I was thinking it's the one where he's hardening. The coagulation fucking shield, whatever that's called.
I'm pretty sure that's also flowing red scale, but it's like
I think
dealing with the blood outside of your body. So like when you use flowing red scale outside of your body, it creates armor coating, but if you use it inside of your body, it regulates temperature, increases the nutrients in your bloodstream, like just like your second, you know what I mean? So That's just my guess. Like, I don't think we've gotten like hard exposition on that because I'm pretty sure the only time he literally just pulls his shirt up and he has an armor coating.
Yes.
And then I don't think we actually get a breakdown of like why that was a thing. But that's just my headcanon right now.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
But
the difference is he's not made of rubber. So if you're going to be doing this shit to yourself, like this is that's what I'm saying. It's got to take a serious toll on him to even get out of this ice.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely.
But with the end of the arc, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, he's not fighting anymore. He's a non-combatant at this stage, I guess.
I mean, shit, the arc is over. Everybody is done fighting,
Yeah.
I would assume. Never know.
Sure.
This double spread at the end is so sick. I love these curse designs, bro. Yeah. This one, like, right in the middle, obviously the focal point of the spread with these big eyes, you know what I mean? And, like, the horns and the Donald Trump haircut. I don't know. That's scary as shit. Look at this owl. Oh.
Yeah, the owl looking thing. Yeah.
And then you got like the Easter Island emoji behind right in the middle.
Or the dude with the straw hat, but he has no face, just a hole.
Yes, just a hole, bro. Like, whoa, dude.
That's creepy.
I'd be so pissed after going through everything this arc, and then you leave me with a fucking army of curses. Like, just kill me yourself.
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, this is a lot right now. I think we skip past this. I don't even think we see them fight this. I think the next time we see them, they're in a different location, and we just assume that these guys got evaporated.
Yeah. Did you guys feel like, because especially on page 17, like, there's a few very humanoid looking ones, right? Like, I know there's like human faced ones, like, because a lot of curses are humanoid, but like, there's very human faces coming out of him.
Yeah, a lot
and
more
it just felt like
than I was expecting.
Well, because like what he's saying, like the cursed objects that I provided are what's left of sorcerers. I painstakingly made vows with a millennium ago. However, I did not enter into contracts with source. I did not only enter into contracts with sorcerers. It feels like what he did to these people, these vows that he made, turned them into curses that he absorbed, and that the human body of them, what was left, is a Sakuna finger situation. He was making the human bodies into cursed objects that he could make people ingest.
Yeah, the way I took it was that he would like cut off like one of their fingers, or maybe he had like a foot left, or whatever part of the body, and then like the rest of the body minus that body part is being used here in idle transfiguration to attack them, I would assume. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like I already took the part of their body that I needed to make a cursed object and like do my plan with. Yeah. The leftovers, you know what I mean? Like salvage them and use them right now in this moment is kind of how
you feel like they would, like if you were being experimented on with Juryoku or whatever, like you're basically being turned into a cursed object. I feel like you would, your spirit or whatever the fuck happens to you would turn into a curse, right? Like it feels like just the right path.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so I see what you're saying now.
Yes, these are like human curses that were used as cursed objects. Their bodies were used as curses that Geto has stored. Yes. And now that's like
that
it just
so
makes
much
a lot
better
of sense.
Than what I thought, bro. I was like, okay, so he cut their body parts off to make cursed objects, then their bodies were dead, and he just held on to them in some kind of way to where when he got idle transfiguration, now he can like manipulate them the way he's doing now. But no, it makes way more sense that he killed them, took their body parts, made cursed objects out of them, and then the dead ones came back as curses that he now manipulates.
Yes.
Sure.
And I think that was all like both parts are part of his plan, right? Like it's not just like, hey, I'm making cursed objects and hey, I get a bonus. Their spirits turn into curses that I just now manipulate. I'm pretty confident it's all part of the plan. He's, I'm being as efficient as possible here with everything. It's
nothing
like, why
goes
not?
to waste. We use the whole horse.
You know what I mean,
or whatever they say.
Man, but now that I think about it, he's only been Geto for a little while. So he hasn't had access to curse manipulation for very long. So maybe not, now that I think about it. Like,
well,
it's so hard to say.
Okay, no, because do we know exactly when? Do we have a timestamp on when Ushiguro's sister went into her coma? Because that's the only timestamp that we have on his plan, really. Because
when Megumi was like I mean, if he's 16 now, right?
Yeah.
It's about first year, 16, I feel like. I don't know, 15, I don't know. But and it's hard to say with it. With
he had to have marked his sister after Brain jumped into Geto's body. We know that.
But it feels like he was in middle school at the time. He was like 11 or 12, right? Like,
right. Well, there's a year in between Volume 0 and the start of this series.
Yeah, sure.
So,
and that's probably when it happened, right?
Right, like, but I mean, like we're trying to make sure that the time matches up.
Not volume. I wasn't thinking not volume 0. I'm thinking after Hidden Inventory, not volume 0. I got those confused. But like,
sure.
Hidden Inventory. I mean, Geto is dead.
Yes.
You know.
Or no, he's not dead at the end of Hidden Inventory. He's dead at the end of Volume 0.
Yeah, at the end of Volume 0. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Because
Yuta. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So Fushiguro's sister had to have fallen into a coma, like right after Geto jumped into this body.
I'm pretty confident it's before that. I'm pretty confident it's a good couple of years before.
And how?
Like, because he doesn't have to be.
Wait! He doesn't have to be in Geto's body to do this. Oh my god!
But what I'm thinking is he has to be in Geto's body to have curse manipulation, right?
Oh,
so like,
yeah, God.
So like, how could he have stored curses from 1,000 years ago, right? Like, you know, like, but that it's still hard to say because this chapter confirms that Brain-kun is not Noritoshi Kamo. Brain-kun took Noritoshi Kamo's body over 150 years ago and did his shit to make him be. Because the original Noritoshi Kamo was from 150 years ago. Brain-kun's been around for over a millennium. So like, there's firm confirmation now that Noritoshi Kamo is just one of the bodies that Brain-kun has. But that was something that we, you know, talked about the last couple of weeks to you know, say what we really thought, you know, like, was this Noritoshi Kamo forever, you know, or was this, you know, just many bodies, one of many. And I felt like last week we were on the, I don't remember exactly what it was that made us feel like it was the opposite of what I'm saying now. But regardless, I mean, this is
the opposite of what you're saying now, as in
I felt like last week we felt like this is actually Noritoshi Kamo in Geto's body, but now it's not. Now we know for a fact it's not. It's Brain-kun in Geto's body, whoever the fuck Brain-kun is. But he was previously in Noritoshi Kamo's body before that, and possibly that entire time could have lived that entire 150 years, or maybe got another body. I mean, it's hard to say.
I remember. I remember now, because when the chapter came out and he said that's just one of many names, that's when we originally were like, okay, well then that means that he jumped into Noritoshi Kamo's body from another body, then jumped from Noritoshi Kamo's body into another body, and this is just, you know, whatever. And then I think you introduced the idea. No, because we were talking about when Brain took Noritoshi Kamo's body. That was the disconnect I think that we had. Did he take his body and then do the Curse Womb death painting experiments, or did he, you know, come in at the very end and just like did
he take him because he was evil and was doing these things
that was the disconnect, I think, is what it was.
But
or
now
that was the argument
like,
or the conversation.
I mean, I would say it feels like Noritoshi Kamo probably didn't do this shit, right? Just had the blood manipulation curse technique that Brain-kun wanted that allowed him to do death painting curse wound
that's
shit,
what
right?
I was saying originally.
And so he probably was never evil to begin with. I mean, hard to say. I mean, the three Kamo, you know, the three families, Kamo being one of them, you know, controlling the Jujutsu world, it's been nothing really but shady the entire time. I mean, Zenin's clearly shady. Kamos feel shady. Gojo, we don't know shit about other than Gojo, who's tight, but like, we don't know about previous Gojos, you know, so like,
or other current Gojos.
Definitely. I mean, I saw people saying that there were no other Gojos, and it's like, I don't feel like that was ever confirmed at any time.
I don't think it was ever confirmed, and if it was, let us know in the comments, but I'm pretty confident that there's other Gojos around. Oh, I need to see them. I mean, I feel like now that Gojo is sealed, Brain-kun has officially left with the prison realm. There is now no more chance of getting Gojo back right now. So this would be the perfect time for another Gojo to pull up and be like, they got my cousin, huh? All right, well.
We need Hikari and Yuta to pull up. That's what we need.
So, like, this is calling all sorcerers type situation right now. You know what I mean? So if there are other Gojos, we're going to see them. I hope we get a girl Gojo. I would love a I would love a Yayoi in this story. You know what I mean? Yayoi from Phantom Seer. I would love that.
If we see another Gojo, they can't have both Limitless and Six Eyes, right? They could only have one or the other. And it would be cool to see if one had just Six Eyes and was like a sensory type and did nothing else. Because like Gojo's like, I mean, Satoru Gojo is like the strongest of all time, right? Like, and sure there was other Gojo at some
100 years, I think is what they said.
Yeah. Because there was another Six Eyes Limitless user. They come around every 100 years that they get both of the fucking, Jujutsu Shiki from the Gojo family. That happens so rarely. And who's to say, even if that one was like as tight as Gojo, like they probably didn't have purple and reverse red and all that shit at the time. So I mean, because it feels like Gojo invented those, but yeah, like I wouldn't want to see one with just Limitless, right? And I mean, actually, no, I guess maybe I'll take that back, because even if they have Limitless, they can't use it as Limitless, because Gojo's doing that with reversed, he's healing his mind he's healing his body.
Mental floss.
Yeah. Satoru Gojo is wild. If you haven't been reading the story, he's doing some other shit, bro. Like,
he's got it all.
It's like, okay, then it wouldn't feel bad to have a Limitless user without Six Eyes who had a very small window on how Limitless is being used and very like calculated. And I'm just going to put this tiny little spot of Limitless right here at this time. That actually would be really cool. But yeah, I just, Gojos, I mean, I just feel like if we're going to get a Gojo, we're going to get a fucking elder that shows up acting like they're running shit now that Satoru's gone, and there ain't going to be no abilities from any Gojos. But who knows? I just feel like it's shady time, right? Now that Satoru's gone, like all the big wigs at their round tables are going to come out and be proposing some fucked up shit to try to deal with the situation.
Super fucked up shit, This is okay. So like, whereas like when Gojo was born, there was a huge paradigm shift, obviously, and then he grows up and becomes the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer, and the big wigs all just kind of go, okay, well, we still get to make all the decisions, and then he's just our lance, he's our gun, our sword, or whatever, you know what I mean? But now that Gojo leaves, that shift is obviously going to happen again just because he's gone. But now there's another paradigm shift in the form of this new Heian era that Getsu is introducing. So this is the time where we are going to see everybody else that matters in the Jujutsu world sitting around a table and going, what moves are we making now that Gojo is gone? What moves are we making now that Geto is going crazy? You know what I mean? We're going to see all of these people that haven't had to work for X amount of time because Gojo was there actually have to do their jobs. And that's going to be some shit to see. And as far as like the positive energy thing, I just want to go back to that real quick because I just went back to this page on page 6 where he says, or at the bottom of page 5, and yet there must be more to human potential. I tried to bring that forth myself, obviously by jumping into different bodies and seeing what all of them do. He's obviously, very experienced with just life in general because of how old he is. If he can jump into a body with all of the experience he has and sees what the curse techniques there are, he's probably going to use them at 100% efficiency, like pretty soon after taking the body because of how experienced he is. So he can bring the potential out of humans because of how long he's lived taking their body. So he's like, there's got to be a body that's got a tight enough ability that I can use at 100% that will bring me to the goal that I'm looking for here but he says, he's like, that doesn't work. What I can create does not exceed the bounds of my own potential. The answer is always flickering darkly in chaos. What exceeds the bounds of your own potential? Your own potential is relegated to what you can do with cursed energy.
Yeah.
What exceeds the bounds of your own potential is positive energy. And that's what's always flickering darkly in chaos. Bright light in the middle of black vacuum, that has to be positive energy. You know what I mean? So
if that's a great spot because it's like not even at all explicit, right? That's you'd have to like really infer a lot of things to get to that point or whatever. So that's true. That's wild.
But I think Geto's he's never going to win because he thinks that the answer is in cursed energy and just how a specific human manipulates it. The answer, he's never going to win. Unless he figures out that he needs positive energy, in which case all of this planning that he's been doing for a millennium that's involving cursed energy, he has to start back from the drawing board, essentially. Unless he has a cheat code of some kind, through some other person who can use positive energy, which I'm sure is what he'll try to do once he realizes that, you know, what's going on here. But like, this is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
As a slight alternative in terms of, at least on page 6, right?
Yeah.
Like what I took, you know, naively reading this, not in terms of, you know, positive energy or whatever. What I kind of assumed was he was just kind of talking poetically, saying like the answer is always flickering darkly in chaos, and then immediately he does talk about chaos. He's like, I can't do anything by myself. I can only do, you know, I only have so much power. I'm only one guy, right? But if I to chance, if I throw it to chaos, right? If I create a chaos that just like blooms and blossoms, and I couldn't even stop it if I wanted to, that means it is beyond my own potential, and you know, kind of thing.
That's
the way I took it too.
Really fucking cool way to think about it.
Yeah.
I agreed. I agree.
So
just because it like makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah,
like if I can't control this situation, then
I'll just make the situation uncontrollable for everybody and see what happens.
Yes. And by way of Darwinism or whatever, you evolve and get to that point, right? Like, So yeah, a little natural selection there for you. But
which is very similar to the Chimera Ant plot in the selection segment of their motivations.
Feels a lot like that. But okay, so I got some other stuff still here.
I got a couple more things as well.
What do you got?
Okay, so I'm gonna let's take a look here. It would be page 18. Geto says, I expect much from you, Yuji. So Yuji is definitely a focus of his. He's he knows a lot what's going on here. With all this that we feel like, I mean, doesn't it feel like Yuji's body has been experimented on to get to these same means that Geto is talking about right now? Like his vessel has been strengthened, his body has been strengthened as a vessel to hold Sukuna, which is the best, right? So like, it just feels like, and I was kind of telling you guys, like, I don't really even want to have this idea, but it feels like, okay, I've cultivated 1,000 of you to fight each other and them have their own Darwinistic situation where they're all going to get better and better and better and like figure out their abilities to confront the fucking, you know, prototype here, Yuji, the real fucking goal. And in the end, just for a new body again, for a new vessel. Like that's why it's like I don't want to feel like this is what's happening in Hero. This is what's happening.
Yuji's body next.
Yes.
Yes. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's you need the chaos because again, Darwinism and Yuji will rise up to the challenge and be in that shit fighting.
Yeah, because Yuji's not just gonna sit back. Yeah,
and it's very Naraku. What Naraku does in Inuyasha gathers up the miasma and that draws all these fucking demons to each other, creates this big giant fucking demon arena for them to fight and eat each other and evolve, fight and keep eating each other and evolving into an apex, you know, predator, whatever you want to call it, an apex fucking, you know, model human, model vessel that I can take, and now I got this with all my other abilities. Like, he'll be unstoppable. And on top of that, Yuji's fucking ability is like, if reversed, would be absolute chaos, right? Like, if you made everybody just hate each other instead of love each other, and it just like carte blanche, fucking with everybody's just basically spreading mass hysteria and hatred. Like, it just all furthers that. Everybody's going to be fighting, killing each other. You know, curse techniques are growing. Juryoku's growing. Everything's growing because of it, like, within their super negative world that they live in. So, like, it's just all to cultivate Yuji is what it feels like. Again, you know.
Damn.
And he even talks about it to him, too. He was like, bruh, you grew Mahito for me, essentially.
Yeah.
Now you go ahead and grow, and I'm going to take that body. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like, man.
You were growing Jogo for me too, by way of Sukuna. Like his beef with Sukuna, with you, and like him and having to confront Sukuna. Like, if he came away unscathed, I was going to be taking his ass at full power too, right? Like, because he would have had to hit some new plateau to be able to even survive against Sukuna, right? Like, he would have had to evolve himself. So it's all about evolving to the highest point you can possibly have, and then swooping in and eating your ass or whatever.
Some of the most intense, like, puppeteering Like I've never, like I can't remember the last time I felt more like every single character in a story was a pawn for the villain. Like I do
White
right
Zetsu.
now. White Zetsu, but White
Zetsu, it doesn't make sense at the end. You're just like, oh, I jumped out of here and I'm controlling everybody.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even like, close to the same like kind of situation. It's literally just like almost feels like retconned information. You know what I mean? Is what
1000% definitely.
You know, kind of felt like. But Getsu is systematically explaining every single area he was involved, and we think about back to those things and go, yes. He was there. Yes, this all lines up and makes sense. It's all sound. Whereas like other reveals like this always just end up being, that's it, just the information. I was there the whole time. You know what I mean? It doesn't ever really like go like I legitimately feel like every single character that I've met in Jujutsu Kaisen is a part of this man's plan to some degree. You know what I mean? Like specifically, not just because they're there and he's assuming that, you know, the people who are a part of his plan are going to have friends that help. No, every single person has been looked at and a contingency has been mapped out for them specifically. You know what I mean? Is what it feels like, you know?
Right.
And even if that's not the case, you making me feel that way is huge. You know what I mean? In storytelling, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Wow.
So while we're on page 18, let me throw in a minor one here. Maybe this was talked about way back in the day when Gojo was first sealed, but now we see this prison realm. It's a dice.
Yes.
And
I think you did mention that one time. There was six different, or maybe somebody.
I don't think I mentioned it. I don't know. Like
maybe that was Snooty on one of our episodes or something. I don't.
Sure.
But he said this is literally a die. It's it's literally, or Dancho. Yeah, maybe it was Dancho too. But either way, one I feel like it had to be one of those two guys. But either way,
so we've seen the shape of it. We've seen like the eyes on it before, way back in the day. I'm just not remembering.
One eye on one side, two eyes on the other side. Yeah, definitely.
So then someone said something really cool about this whole dice situation, and like in the first place, someone said something cool, like not that you roll it and see nothing like that, but it was something about how I think it was Mello Yanis. I think now that I think about it, I feel like Mello went deep on that. Now man, I feel bad. If whoever it is, somebody should say something in Discord or something. Please, it was me.
and then explain it again for us, because it was super tight. I remember when it came out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear that too.
Yes. Do you guys have anything else for Jujutsu Kaisen?
That's a lot.
Yeah, like an hour. So good. Good. The conversation
I think we did that very well.
Yes, deep. I feel like that was as thorough as we needed to be, as thorough as we possibly could have been. Just making sure that I'm not forgetting anything here. Yeah, I think we covered it all. What a chapter.
Yeah.
Chapter of the week. Not
chapter
close.
of like longer than a week. Chapter of this. Some, I don't know. 7 years ago. I don't know,
man. And I would say that, but it's like I just loved Heroes chapter last week so much, and I'm disappointed that we didn't keep that energy. But we can go back to it, and we'll get there when we get to that segment. Man. But
All right. So all right, cool. Let's move on.
Hell yeah.
Okay, getting into Dr. Stone, chapter 182, Diamond Heart. How do we feel?
Is that really what it's called? Diamond Heart?
Diamond Heart, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was a cool chapter. Interesting to get more information about like the Medusa and like the guts of it or whatever. Like I've been really curious to know like what the power source is. And is it the diamond or whatever? And like obviously must be some super science to power something with a rock, right?
Right.
Or is it just like a really important piece of the Medusa or whatever? But
I think that obviously in the design of the Medusa, we see a lot of like circuit boardy. Like once you zoom in on it, it looks very elaborate. It looks very high level. You know what I mean? Obviously, they haven't like, talked about the specific, architecture of the ins and outs of the Medusa's like design yet. You know what I mean? They're focusing on the battery. Obviously, if there's an elaborate circuit board in front of you and you want to focus on the battery, it means that what does the thing is inside of that, elaborate design that they aren't talking about yet. You know what I mean? I think, which is one thing that obviously I know that there has to be theater involved. You know what I mean? You have to get to, you don't want to just obviously like everything that allows the Medusa to do what it does is inside of the design of the Medusa that we see somewhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when you have a million of them and you sit down and you start looking at them with microscopes and they say, don't worry about all this shit here, let's look at this battery. I understand that that's the point because they want to find out how to power them. But like, it makes me feel better thinking that they've already had a conversation about the intricate like circuitry of the Medusa, just like off panel, and we're gonna come back to it or something. But it just felt so weird to me that Zeno and Senku have not been shown talking about this crazy Medusa design and like what it means for the application of the device. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
But I understand that there's a story to be told here. So yeah.
And I mean, I feel like it's kind of inferred with like page 4, like bottom right panel, where it's like, okay, all these pieces are being, you know, just labeled and categorized. So like they're definitely, you know, obviously keeping track of like when they're dismantling it, even though they're kind of just like dismantling it, like still like, hey, these pieces flew over here, let me see what those ones are, these pieces are, you know, and just like they're still figuring it out. But like I feel like those because there's you know, they're all looking at them here, you know, like on page 5, because it's not, well, actually I think page 5 they're just looking at the diamonds, maybe, actually.
They are.
Yeah. So what about page 7 in the middle there?
Page 7
it's like,
in the middle. Yes.
Yeah,
like
it's Tsukasa.
Zeno.
Yeah, yep. Zeno's
looking at
Yep, Tsukasa and Kohaku smashing. Well, I don't think he's looking at them. That's just shown in the distance.
Yeah. It's just meant to show that they are looking at like the circuitry of, and they're looking at this. I feel like.
Oh, you're saying that this realization panel is Dr. Zeno going, yo, it's something about the design of he's noticing something about the design of the Medusa that's important.
Well, in the bottom of page 7, he's realizing that there's cracks in the diamonds or whatever. That's like the zoom in now. But like they are looking at the circuitry of the Medusa. You can see that on the bottom of page 6, bottom right. Like Kohaku literally does like a huge perception feat here, and she's like, zoom in with my eye, and she can literally look at a Medusa and see the diamond.
Yes.
Like she can see it on its face, like not a broken one. So she looks at one, she sees a diamond, like she actually looks at the pile of Medusas and sees like, oh, there's one with a diamond that isn't blackened.
Let me double check. So she noticed as it was falling out and then grabbed it and was like, let me make sure.
Well, I think she's just looking at a pile of Medusas.
Oh,
like
okay,
in the middle, she's like looking at a pile of them. She looks at the pile and goes, "There's a diamond.
I see. Okay,
there's a diamond that's intact." Then she takes the Medusa
on the panel above her looking at it. The panel above her looking at it is her looking at a pile of them. I thought she was dumping them, and then as she was dumping them, one fell out, and as it was falling, she was like, "Does that one have a perfect diamond in it? Let me see."
No, even crazier. She just looked at a pile of them and said, like, there's a perfect diamond. And then she, like, just badass tries it or whatever. And, of course, it's like, you know, then that's where they realize, okay, they're cracked or whatever, so those don't count.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back to, let's just right away the first page here.
She just saw that it wasn't black.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought she, like, saw that, like, it was not blacked and like not cracked.
No, they hadn't figured out the cracks.
My bad. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, but on the first page, they're like painting the ship, right, to like cover the shininess of the Medusas, right? That's what's going on? They're like coating it, right? It says it's been coated.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
where?
Right on page 1. Yeah, right on page 1.
I thought that they said
or it's glue.
Coating. That would be coating.
Glue.
Yeah, I think that coating is just coating the ship with the Medusas.
Okay.
I don't think they're talking about like coating the Medusas specifically with anything.
But what Keiko's talking about here is on the left side of that page. Like there's bits that are shiny, like a whole swath of shiny, and then there's like behind Kohaku, there's like not shiny.
Oh wait, no, she is like painting it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because it makes sense. Like, okay, you only need the devices itself to block radar. You don't need them to be shiny platinum devices blinging off the sun for fucking miles to see away. Yeah. They don't need the fucking, radar if they could just see you from forever away. Right. So yeah. I think that's what's going on there, which was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I no details like are missed unless they're like extremely like minute that need to be skipped over. I think obviously this is a very thorough manga with what's going on. It's going to tell you as much as you need to know without convoluting it and making it.
And there's really, when you have a personal physicist like on hand, there's almost like no chance for plot holes even too, because when you know like you know that you want to incorporate in a certain area of science into your story, obviously that means that you need to know the science, what you're talking about with the science. That's why you have the physicist here. The physicist is going to talk with you, and you guys are going to be talking about all of the possibilities. You know what I mean? Because like that's like how obviously scientific application works. You know what I mean? You remove falsehoods. So like the falsehoods you remove are the potential plot holes are included in that. Because it's like, well, if we do this, then that means that people reading this would go, well, then what about this? And then like all of those things are explored because they have to be in a science novel. So it's just like super tight writing no matter what, you know what I mean? Like, that's really cool to think about.
I'm glad you mentioned the consultant just real quick, because we got 3 consultants this time. You know,
oh, Dewey doesn't say
on page 16. Consultants. We always have Kurare, and we got Ichioka here, some scientist artists.
I didn't know. I didn't even see that.
And Yuki Mori from Kyushu University. So that's cool that awesome. we brought some other people in for this one. This one was a little deeper. We can we can't just rely on our normal science consultant.
That's super sick. So I wanted to quickly confirm, like what we were talking about with the first page, and if they're painting over the shiny. If you look at page 4, the boat is no longer shiny. And that's the exact kind of confirmation you all were just talking about, right? Like where it's like it's consistent, it all makes sense, you know what I mean? Like, but they're not going to hold your hand and be like, we're painting over it, it's not going to be shiny anymore. It's like, okay, we leave something to the reader, right? And
that's just more dialogue, that you can use for, that's more space that you can leave for art. You don't need another dialogue bubble covering art. You know what I mean? It's there for you to, like, if you have a question, if you think, I don't know, wait, what's up with this? You can go back and find it. It's there. It's just not always thoroughly, not every single aspect of what they're doing needs to be thoroughly explained. Spoon-fed, like you said. We're not holding your hand, which is really cool, because they can very manga works. Do that.
Well, exactly, and this is how manga works, right? Like, there's X amount of visual storytelling that needs to be told, even in a story like this, with fucking, where it's just so science heavy, exposition heavy. Exactly, it's just you're just getting explanation after explanation after explanation constantly. That even, this story is going to have X amount of, probably a much smaller amount of visual storytelling, but it is there. Like it's always going to be there within manga, and that's really cool to think about. Like, because us coming from, this used to be the Chainsaw Man spot, right? For us to go to a very visual heavy storytelling to all exposition in this slot. It's a good thing to point out that there's always going to be a little, even in a story like this, even in Hunter, when you got, only words for a whole chapter.
Can we just talk about how much of a beast Boichi is, like, on a weekly basis? Like, I'm on this page 8, and this isn't the first time that I've noticed this. Obviously, this is consistent with Zeno's character design, but Boichi will draw him in ways to where the light is shining on his forehead in a way to where like his forehead is shining, but there's so much detail in the shine that you can see like skin wrinkles. And shit, you know what I mean? And like little tiny blemishes, you know what I mean? Like that's, come on, man, stop.
It's impressive. It's very impressive.
Like, bro, come on, man. The folds of the clothes are always perfect. Like, it's not just like you have a physicist here, for your exposition, but then you also have Boichi, who's essentially a photorealism artist. And he gets the physics right on your clothes, your skin, in the art. The physics is perfect because of how high quality of an artist, Boichi is. Obviously, people are doing superhuman things, and it's not. There's no physics don't really exist there. But in the folds of clothes, the skin wrinkles, like the art matches that level of thoroughness. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That the writing does, and it's like. It's just what a perfect team.
I did just see somebody on Twitter today who thought the ocean panel was actually drawn. They're like, "Whoa, he's the craziest artist I've ever seen in my entire life. What is this shit?" I didn't have the heart to go on there and be like, "Dude, that's not.
It's not your job."
It's like, he is top tier artist. He is among the greatest artists I've ever seen in my life, but he didn't draw that. But that's clearly real water. That's real ass water right there. Like,
right.
Oh my god.
So we're
Pretty
making
sure
a diamond.
Eagle was one of those that thought that the waves were real.
Yeah.
I just thought of that. I'm screaming. Okay, let's go.
We're gonna make a diamond. But I love this. I love this exchange, the dialogue exchange, right? Like we're gonna make a diamond, and everyone's like, "What?" Like people are like, "Can you even do that?" And like, "What? What? I like? We can't do that." It's like, no. Anyone can do science. You know what I mean? Like that's the point of science. Like anyone can do it.
Oh my
Saint
god.
or sinner, like just follow the same steps, you get the same results. That's the point. Like it's great to have another like just like super big gush about the science itself. You know what I mean? Like not going deep into specific tech or how to do X or how to do Y or how much I know. No. Let's talk about the beauty of the method. You know what I mean? Like just great.
Hash just how beautiful, how important it is, how it's the reason why we're all here reading this manga, how like everything, like Senku so perfectly embodies the hype, you know, inside of anybody who finds interest in science and makes it look cool in a way that we never thought we'd be able to see as, you know, science nerds in middle school, high school. Right. And then you grow up now and you're a full adult, and now all of a sudden this is here, you know what I mean? Like this is the coolest way to tell a science story. Like this is the perfect main character. His charisma is off the charts. His confidence, his diet, like everything. Like this is one of the best main characters I've ever seen. Like, by and large, like all things considered, you know what I mean?
And even adding on to that a little bit, I mean, just look at the group who is tasked with making this, right? Like it's all the muscleheads. It's Magma, it's Yo, it's Nikki, it's fucking Kinro. Like these
Nikki
are the
is
farthest
the one with
from
the big lips, right?
Yep.
This panel of her on fucking page 15 is beautiful.
Her determination too. I just love that. Seeing Magma get blown out the window and she's like, "Nah, fuck that. We're gonna figure it out. We can do it." Like her determination was definitely beautiful there, and it's great that like I'm saying, like the people that are tasked to do this job have no idea what the fuck they're doing at all, and they're just listening to fucking Senku's instructions over Morse code too. They're not talking to each other. This is Morse code that he's instructing them on how to make a diamond through Morse code.
I never even knew how to make. I was so like grateful for this chapter because like I've always been curious how to make a diamond. Obviously, I have Google. I can just use the internet, but like I never do whatever, you know. But like bruh. Like that was so cool to see that. And you want to know what? And it's talking about Nikki right now and her determination is another like, and she's her own character and she's great in her own way, regardless of Senku. But like, this is another thing that's great about Senku is that he's so tight that he makes everyone else want to do the best that they can because he's doing so much all the time. You know what I mean? Like when you see somebody who's literally changing the world in a godly way to you, like, would any of us feel okay with half-assing anything we fucking do around this person? You know what I mean? Like, I would feel so shitty if I thought that I wasn't giving my all in any moment around Senku. You know what I mean? Like, and I just love how it's kind of like Luffy and what Mihawk said about how he's the kind of person that can just rally anyone to his cause. But that is more like a superpower of Luffy's. I mean, like, sure, charisma has to do with it, but like there's an actual hidden meaning in One Piece that's like supernaturally related to that. Whereas Senku, it's like, that's all, you know what I'm saying? That's all you, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you. And like, that's so cool.
He's not the reincarnation of Joy Boy.
Right.
He does not have
He's the reincarnation of Einstein, which is even crazier. And it's like, I don't know if that's the thing, but
I know.
You know, but
sure.
But
the diamond stuff you were talking about though too, like it actually hit me too, because it's like when I was getting married, and it's like I'm going to buy a fucking diamond ring for my wife, right? It's like they you know take me into this fucking vaulted room so I could look at diamonds right through the fucking, you know, whatever, the whole, you know, under a microscope type shit, right? And it's like, they're like, do you want to look at like the conflict-free diamonds? I'm like, well, yeah, hell yeah, dude. Like, I don't want people's hands chopped off over diamonds. I would love to rather see those. And they're like, well, technically these are like synthetic diamonds, like they're made, right? And I'm like, so I get conflict diamonds where hands were chopped off, or fake diamonds, right? Like, so I'm in a very bad situation here. I'm like, well, let me still see these conflict-free diamonds, right? Like, I want to see what you're talking about, right? Like, so like I'm looking at them and I'm like, damn, these are and they're no fucking cheaper than a real diamond either. That's the other shit that was wild, you know. Like I'm looking at them and I'm like, man, these look better. These like they're.
So you pay the same price just to get clowned by a connoisseur at some ball 20 years from now.
That's what you might. That's what you
cubic
might say.
zirconium.
It's definitely not cubic zirconium. It's some other. I mean, look it up. Look it up, because I did look at the size.
That's just the only diamond alternative I know. Yeah.
Sure. And it's not a Swarovski crystal or whatever. You know,
is that fake too? Oh,
yeah.
crystal.
I mean, it's not fake, but it's not. Yeah, it's not a diamond.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like it was definitely something that I had to leave the jewelry store, look into before I'm making some crazy ass decision on diamonds and shit. Right? Like it's obviously a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's when I'm looking at this too. I'm like, is this how it was done? Is this what they did to make my wife's diamond on her ring? Because obviously, I went with non-hand chopped diamonds. Right? Those are the type I like. So I seen you know a lot of those movies. I seen Hotel Rwanda's and all those African like people going into
blood diamond.
Man, that shit is blood diamond. Like
I wouldn't even want to look at the conflict diamonds. I would just feel Jaimin Hunsu's like presence behind me, like. What are you doing? Like, oh shit! Give me the cubic shit.
Oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, like this is a cool story about that because like I'm literally like flashing through this and I'm just like I'm sitting there the whole time. I'm like, man, are these people really trying to sell me some crazy ass fake diamond for like way too expensive? Like, but yeah, you know, did a little bit of research on it and it's like, whatever. At the end of the day. Nobody's hands were chopped from my wife's diamond.
Yes. But in Dr. Stone, I thought it was hilarious in terms of bad things happening, right? This explosion, right? This explosion, I thought was hilarious, right? Obviously, it's comic relief, Magna getting obliterated out of the boat. Yeah. But what I first thought was like, this seems a little dangerous, and you should have told them, make sure there's no water vapor in or whatever in your methanol container before you light it up. Otherwise, it's going to explode and you're all going to die, right? Like that could have led to someone being killed. I think it's hilarious.
But, and maybe it was in the Morse code. They didn't read that part. They didn't read those dots, you know? Like,
I would assume since we get a Senku robot that tells us don't make this bomb at home in your house actually, that Senku in the actual story would tell people about the things that could happen that could blow them up. And so I want to think they just didn't read that part.
Especially with your little disclaimer here, where is it like, hey, this is accidentally completing the circuit where not intended is an incredibly common mistake and not something to beat oneself up over. It's like, well, if that was an incredibly common mistake, you should have told them about it, right? Like,
right.
True.
But after all, they fucking did it. Like they literally made diamonds, remember? Like very cool.
So look at the drawing of that diamond and
that
spread at the end. Like it looks like a diamond, obviously, but it looks incomplete. It looks
you know, it's not been, you know, ground down. It's not been polished or whatever. Yeah,
it could have looked like a fucking ring pop. You know what I mean? But fucking, you know, Boichi's like, or maybe even Riichiro's got. I would assume it's a collaborative effort. Like, what would this really look like right here? Let's do an anatomically correct diamond. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But, like that's just so. It's just so thorough. It's so well thought out. It's so everything.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, I mean, the art of like this diamond at the end. Yeah, like I'm very sure this is exactly what it looks like. You know, being
fresh
pulled out of the mine.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, back to that, but that looks like it's straight out the mine right there. Like,
or at least like fresh out of the whatever process that's used to make diamonds. First, you know,
the vat or whatever.
Before it's you know chipped away and all, you know what I mean. Like but so good. That's all I had from Doctor. Wait, do you guys have more?
I was gonna ask you, like, what type of cuts are they gonna hit this bitch with? Princess, or you know, what do we?
No, they're gonna make that exact hexagon thing.
I know. So hexagon cuts. Yep.
Hexagon cuts.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Those don't shine on the ring as good. You know, like,
the Medusas are already pretty shiny.
Yeah. That's platinum. That's platinum.
Yeah.
All right. It was big. It's gone now. But yeah, we can go.
All right, let's move on. All right. Getting into Mashle, Magic and Muscles, Chapter 47, Mash Burn Dead and the Selection Exam.
This chapter was very hype. I mean, like a lot of setup, but like hype.
Yeah,
hype.
I'm so sad Margaret didn't block with Apollo. Like I really wanted that to be a thing.
Yeah,
right.
I was so ready to see that at the start of this chapter, but he pulled up the sound shield. That's a cool move.
Right.
I like
Very
seeing
cool.
that. Slices right through it. Margaret doesn't take the hit. Didn't need to take the hit. Could have used a second spell to see what was cracking, but had to help his homeboys, which I think is tight. You know what I mean? Because I just like when antagonistic characters show compassion. You know what I mean? Where we're supposed to like kind of like think this dude sucks, but then all of a sudden, no, his people really care about him, and he really cares about his people. That's awesome. You know what I mean? I like seeing that later in a character.
And even not having the Apollo, you know, the god summon wand, you know, battle, it just means that we're gonna get a little bit longer of a story. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna get it all condensed into say 150 chapters. Like maybe this will be like more like 250 chapters, and we'll get those kind of battles in like 50, 100 chapters. You know what I mean? A little more high level. Yeah.
I love when authors can introduce really cool concepts but be sparing with them. Introduce a character, hype you up for them, make you want to know everything about them, but then withhold that most important information until a more hype time so that you can build more hype now that you've introduced them. Too many authors, I feel like, introduce characters, are really excited to give their audience that character, and then just want to tell them everything about them. And it's like, when the characters are introduced, fleshed out, fight, and then are defeated all in the same arc, you know what I mean? It's like maybe I'm just spoiled with like Togashi and Oda storytelling, but like like it's something I feel like we should be seeing more in the newer landscape, in my opinion.
For sure.
Arc contained characters just
arc contained characters, that's a great way to
doesn't feel great, but like so I mean, I think it speaks well of Margaret's like power, just a strength, because he does get grazed or whatever, is bleeding, right? Like, and this is Desert Spada, basically. This is what fucking Crocodile does to the ground, right?
It's steroids, though.
Like it's really kind of the same thing. It's a bottomless hole, right?
You're right. You're right. The effect of the illustration on the smoke is just like, really makes me feel like this is a much bigger situation than it probably is. Like that looks
that smoke feels alive to me.
Like, alive. There we go. Yes. I was trying to find the way to say it, but like it's very different.
Well, and we didn't even talk about the cover yet. I mean, I think it's good that we have Order Madel and Margaret on the cover to just like confirm their whatever
relationship.
They definitely have some kind of relationship, even though it wasn't Order Madel is not the one that gave Margaret the kill Mash order.
Right.
It came from a proxy probably or whatever. But yeah, like it's gonna be good to see, because like I mean, I really want that infighting within, like actual, like serious infighting within Divine Visionaries, like I really want to see, the Light Cane and fucking Rain be, and obviously there's some very like probably gray morality, on that line with a lot of the Divine Visionaries, but you also got your firm, authoritarian types over there as well, which those ones should butt heads. And I just want to see Divine Visionary level battle, which we thought we were going to kind of get here. But like, again, it speaks well of Margaret's power, because it's like, I could have used a second spell. Right. I didn't do it. And even, the lackeys or whatever are like, hey, we got in his way. He could have tried to use a second spell and it would have done something. Like he would have been able to block with it. It's also just like the confidence that Margaret has to like face him in the future, especially when you get the exposition of like, hey, these triple liners, even fucking very elementary spells, basically turn to second level spells. Off bat, just because of
that was
a triple
really
liner.
Cool exposition to get. So we know that like triple line or going into this new form, like that's so cool that you get a base stat boost that big on top of whatever new spells you have access to. Like it makes sense, you know what I mean? But like it's just cool to get like hard exposition on like exactly what's going on with that in like a video game kind of way. You know what I mean? Like I mean, it makes it simple to understand, right? Like it's like, okay, hey, I'm gonna throw your basic whatever spell
but now that I'm in triple liner form with my God wand out here, it's gonna, you know, be second level, which, I mean, with Margaret still being so confident about the situation, like it just speaks really highly of his, because there was the, you know, explanation last chapter, like, hey, like mana density or power or, you know, your strength of your spell is not the only thing that matters here. Like control and you know, just your proficiency with your element or your affinity, whatever, is very, very important as well. So to see Margaret still be so confident in facing Rain next time, like, oh, I can't wait. You know, man, I'm just so hyped to see that, like, second liners fighting triple line. Like, it's not going to be triple liner wins. I got one more line than you, I win. Boom.
Yes.
You know,
right.
Yes.
Right.
That's
yes.
If that's the case, I don't want to read your story.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
that is the most important part. If you are going to, in 2021 or 2020 or whenever, you know, like if you're going to still be trying to write stories where it all comes down to who has the bigger mana pool.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but like, do you know what year it is? Like, I'm, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we need. I'm sorry. I need, you know, layered
something more.
I need something more. I need at least a couple more layers to it than Clash.
Well, think about it too.
I'm bigger. You know what I mean? Like,
because like even like during Naruto and Bleach days, right? Like that isn't even the case with them, right? Like this is Dragon. You got to go back to Dragon Ball to get that. And even like, so Yu Yu Hakusho even kind of starts that way. And Togashi's like, well, I better start writing this a little different. So it's not just my, you know, spirit gun is stronger than your fucking whatever beam, you know, like and
I wasn't trying to say that like all of the conflicts will be that way in a story. I was just saying,
no,
like,
I know that.
If you're not going to have any more depth in your combat besides my mana pool is bigger than yours, like, sure, you can add more layers until it gets to the point where a Clash is going to decide everything. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But like ultimately, like, you know, it comes like the biggest conflicts in the story will probably be resolved that way if you don't actually integrate, you know, depth and layers to your inherently in your energy system. Anyone can take any strategy they want into any fight regardless of the energy system, but it's all still going to come down to who has more mana, regardless of what cool shit they do before they lose. You know what I mean? Like, I want that cool shit you do to actually matter. In the overall.
Exactly. And there's and you're right that even like within Naruto and Bleach and during that era of manga, like yes, there's rules, yes, there's different abilities, yes, they kind of work in a way that makes sense. The strategies, but still
we at least see the strategies, but they don't. But the strategies don't end up meaning much by the end of the series when it comes down to Kamehameha Wave versus Gallic Gun. You know what I mean? So it's like like a Kakashi can't beat a fucking Madara, right? Like with no way, no how, right? Like it's just not possible. Like there's no way that Kakashi could be more proficient with chakra in a way that gives him some kind of advantage against. No, it's just it didn't exist. So like, yes, that's basically what we're trying to say. You need nuance, you need rules, you need all of this in your energy system. Or I mean, it's just like nuance is the biggest word. It really is, like when it comes to like power systems, you know what I mean? Like, but we can be
that looks like the direction we're going.
That we're going to see that in MASH.
Right.
Yes.
So okay, one thing I wanted to comment on. So Finn, right?
Yeah.
Now this, okay, so we first had the traitor Finn theory back when, you know, Finn was said the thing or whatever, and then it instantly cut from Finn to Margaret approaching the house. Now, right after that conflict ends, it goes right back to Finn. So coming out of that conflict, it goes to Finn, and now, boom, here's your coins. Mash is like, we can split these up evenly, even though I won them all. You're my friends, have some coins. And he's like, I can't do this because I'm a traitor.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if
it could be. But
it could be though.
Like, it could very, very well could be. Like, but it can also be.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's just the fact that, I mean, he's afraid. He didn't earn these. Yeah, he's afraid. He didn't earn these. This isn't, you know, he's already teetering on this morality line of like how much help he should be getting from MASH. Like what? So I feel like it is tied. It is all tied within the theme of Finn being put in this terrible situation where he's going to have to
it could be
sacrifice MASH.
Yeah, that could be both of the reasons fueling his response on page 10. or page page 10.
Yeah,
I think
10.
Yeah, it could be a combination that I'm a traitor and I didn't earn these.
Yeah,
right? Is that what we're saying right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open to the possibility that traitor is still possible, right? Like,
Nice.
I think it's very much.
I like that idea.
More meant to imply like I'm afraid. I don't think I'm ready for this. I don't think I've earned this or whatever. I think that's very much the face, that you're meant to see. But that dice roll, was very weird. And as you say, like the scene transitions like to and from Finn related to Margaret here is very interesting. It's like an interesting choice. You know what I mean?
So, but we could be seeing like inside of Finn's character. Obviously, he's very reserved. He's very timid. He's very Usopp-esque character. You know what I mean, compared to everyone else on his team. And that could all be like we don't have. I don't remember us having a flashback. I mean, I'm sure we've seen a younger version of Finn, but have we really seen him like really like I don't think we've actually focused on him as a kid, showing him like this timid, this reserved, this unconfident, as a child. But like him since we've known him, if he's been the traitor like the entire time that the story has been going on, his weakness could be because of the guilt that's weighing on him because of what he's doing. As soon as this is lifted, as soon as he's liberated from this situation, we could see a whole new Finn. It could be we could see a very confident one, someone, and obviously that's where like growth, that's why I said growth and development catalyst, because like obviously the development is going to come from us finding out why he's in this position in the first place, if he is in one, and him being freed from that will allow us through development to see what he can actually do. You know what I mean? Finally seeing his ability, finally seeing what kind of person he's supposed to be without the shackles of this blackmail or whatever it is, on him. But then also grow from that to be an even better or stronger version than he even was, coming out of this situation because of his friendship with Mash and everything like that. Like this could be one of the biggest characters in Shonen Jump in like the next couple of months. You know what I mean? Like easily, is basically what I'm saying right now. Like he's gonna get a huge bloom in character work once this twist. I feel like a huge twist is coming in the form of this traitor reveal, and then he's obviously going to be, cured from that through,
I mean, we still haven't even seen him use his magic, have we?
Still haven't even seen him use his magic, exactly.
And I could even imagine you go into this, Divine Visionary tournament or whatever it is, right? This like exam kind of thing. I could imagine him even hiding his true ability for the vast majority of it, and then say he's up against Mash or someone at the end.
Oh,
it's like,
and then he goes crazy.
Sorry, bro, I actually have to try here.
And
you know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
And then boom, he reveals that he's actually been lying this whole time about being weak, right? I mean, anything's possible. Anything is possible.
We could get the whole reveal in the tournament, you know what I mean? Like, not only am I not weak, but like I'm a traitor too, and like I set all this stuff up, and like we get evil Finn for the tournament arc, you know what I mean? And then he gets, whooped or something like that, and they have a conversation. And he's like, "I'm so sorry," and then we get true Finn moving forward after that.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I.
Why does he say I'm sorry?
Well,
why does he say like I'm sorry? And obviously you could say I'm sorry, I can't accept this.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
it's not that I can't accept this. I'm sorry. I don't deserve this even. You giving this to me is basically putting me into this position of now I can technically become a divine visionary. And I'm sorry. I can't live up to what you're putting on me, basically.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that like this I'm sorry right here makes sense if it's like I'm sorry I can't accept this. I'm sorry I don't deserve this. But like only if like not only if, but like usually there's more after the I'm sorry. Like there's I'm sorry, but this. Yeah. Now it can still be, you don't need that, like I said. Yeah. But I think like just the I'm sorry here is just more evidence.
Could be. Yeah. If this ends up being a true thing, like it's gonna be crazy to be able to go back to all these times where we've talked about here's subtle hints of why I think he's a traitor or whatever. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a slam dunk argument or whatever, but like it's
I just want to know so bad, man.
It's very possible. Your argument is definitely fairly solid there, and I still am on the side of I think Finn is actually weak and timid. I think that he is. This is all just kind of foreshadowing, you know, to the time when he is going to be put in this situation where his weakness is going to be a Usopp situation, like, hey, you know, my weakness is holding you back or something, or my weakness is I have to make this decision to betray you because of my weakness, you know, something along those lines. And yeah, I mean, I think he's going to get bopped in this fucking tournament and just sent the fuck out, right?
Really? It's like, I want so many things. It's like so many things could happen here. Like, he could really activate this tournament.
Yeah, he could. It's just so, I mean,
like,
I want to see, I hope to God, I hope we see his magic. I hope he does put up some kind of fight. I'm more excited for Dote in this tournament over anybody.
Dote is crazy.
Bro, Dote couldn't sleep. He's like, I'm too hyped, bro. I gotta check my bags. I gotta make sure. It's like, I'm crazy. I'm Dope.
Day before
like, I love
hype.
Dote, bro.
Yeah.
So like, his fucking growth is I feel like, I mean, he's like the Rock Lee kind of, even though like he has energy, but he like still kind of feels like the, you know, I'm gonna yeah, maybe Kuwabara. I mean, same thing kind of, where like I'm the, you know, lower ranking guy, but I'm about to persevere through fucking strength and toughness and willpower.
One, all things considered at the end of the day, but I have the most heart, and no one's arguing that.
Sure.
So I'm hyped for him more than anything. But we got coins. You know, it tells who's got what coins here. There isn't that many contenders. I mean, I guess there's a lot with 3 coins, but like I feel like if 5 coins is normal. Like, I felt like there would be more people in the 5 coin range instead of just 3 people. Like, it's only Lance, Margaret, and fucking...
Well, I think...
and Mash.
Right, but I do think that, like, obviously Mash has...
No, Mash has 7.
Yeah, he has 7.
7, that's what I'm saying. 5 plus.
5 or more, yeah.
But that means that they have, as a team, you know, assembled, let's see, 3 for Dot, 3 for Finn, 5 for Lance... and 7 for Mash, so that's like 12 plus 6 or whatever, 18 or whatever. They've got a fuck ton of coins. Like, so I think basically what I'm getting at is that I would have not expected more 5s because I think everyone did this exact thing, right?
Divvied out more so that more.
I'm going to divvy out to my boys.
Yeah.
Let's get my boys in here so they can.
I
also
literally just thought about that as you were like saying that, and I was like, if he doesn't say it, I'm going to say it. But you,
and obviously that's presuming that they knew that they were changing the, you know, criteria to get in here beforehand. I don't know if they said that anywhere.
You got to give that.
You got to give that information before.
Change the rules, and all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, by the way, all you people in the stands with 3 coins, like, feel free to come on down. It's like, they said this shit way early.
The announcement and
the
narration boxes are reiterating the information after it's already been communicated to the people.
You guys are going a little too far. You could say, hey, present your coins. How many coins does everybody have here? And everybody has to go and officially declare how many coins they got. And knowing they all know that, hey, you need 5 coins to participate in this. They all show up, hey, we only got 3, we only got 3, we only got 3. You know, like, sure. Mash. I mean, it does kind of look planned, but you could say, okay, now that we have the official count on who all have coins, everybody with 3 coins or more gets to be in this year. You know, like, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be fucking the Tenkaichi announcer. Hey, if you got 3 coins in the stands, come on down. You get to be in the fucking tournament, buddies. It's not, you know, but the fact that you do see him divvied that way, I mean, I guess, you know, it's just...
I think you just explained a way to where it could be either one. It could literally be what Nick was saying.
They also say that the exam was pushed forward, right? Like, it was going to be in April. No, it's actually going to be in March.
So they always knew. Yeah. So then,
panel on page 9. And after that, these are the coins we got. 3 per person sounds good. It's just Mash divvying them out equally to his team.
That's right.
It's not, they're not planning for 3 coins so you get in this thing. It's just Mash being diplomatic and fair and saying, hey, even though I did all the work, y'all put in your work, and you guys, you know, we're all going to split these coins up equally, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so I would say this is coincidental that Mash is doing this, and that Mash is divvying them out the way that he is. But then also, if they're going to accelerate, like if they're going to move the date forward, it's because they've already, I would say it's because they've already like factored in everything that's going to make them decide you need 3 coins this year.
Right.
So like like the 3 coins this year was decided when they were going to move it up in the first place. Like all of that stuff was, I want to say, was decided. So then they tell people you only need 3 coins this year, and then everyone makes sure that, oh, okay, well then here's a couple more coins for you so you can get in. So I think it could still go either way.
Well, just the way these panels are laid out, you know, just because this one does appear coincidental in 9, it's like when I look at them again, and it does, it's like after that, these are the coins we got from Lang. 3 per person sound good? Here, I'm just going to split them up. Like, and they're all like, you know, like it does seem coincidental here, but really, I mean, okay, you get Finn being remorseful or whatever that he got these coins, whatever that is, but like, right away you see Lance, like he's preparing for battle, basically, right? Yep. And Dote is excited for the tournament. That's why he can't sleep. So I mean, yeah, you could definitely say that it feels those other panels after that feel planned. It's just that one panel right there that makes it look like that's coincidental.
Right,
but like,
right.
For Lance to be preparing for battle, looking at his sister's locket, like, Anna, I'm coming for you, and fucking Dote not being able to sleep, and maybe this is Finn's reaction later, you know, I can't, I'm sorry, I don't want to be in the fucking tournament at all. You gave me enough coins to be in here.
I do think that's
but
what
I don't.
saying,
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's you know. Yeah, I think I'm on Nick's side now. It's just weird to have one panel be so coincidental, and again, it can all be translation. It could be the translator.
Or it could have been not coincidence at all, right? Like,
or
he got 7. He already had 7, so like I know I need 7 or whatever. Like, because I'm pretty sure that the 7 was thrown out before, right? Like, you need 7 to become a divine visionary. I don't remember. No, it was definitely 7, and each of the 7 coins was made up of 5 pieces, right? So he needed like 35, right?
Yeah, something like that was said, and it feels weird because like you're saying, because it did feel like if you just got enough coins, you were the divine visionary candidate. Like whoever has the most coins at the end of the dorm or at the end of the season for these dorms. You're the one who's the candidate, and I don't know what you had to do to you know, go from candidate to actually divine visionary, but like
right.
But this does make sense to have this, obviously, this tournament type thing. But it just, I agree with you. It felt like they said, if you just get 7 coins total, you're divine visionary, you know, the next one in line or whatever. You know, because we were talking about how it's like valedictorian, right? Like they were basically talking like how that's exactly the same, you know, concept.
What if that's how it was supposed to go, and then editorial was like, no, do a tournament arc?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
Could happen.
Very possible. Very possible. So that's definitely kind of what I was throwing out there too, because I feel like Nick was right. Like it did feel like there was, I don't know, a firm number there, and then you just go and you're just that. But yeah.
But let's talk about these contestants or whatever, huh? There's a couple I want to comment on specifically. Like one, this Pawn Taurus guy. Top middle of page 19.
Yeah.
Where's his lines? This might be a scan thing where like the line is so fine and the scan didn't pick it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I mean couldn't even happen in officials, right? I've seen say like different translations, even on Shonen Jump, have different qualities of scanning.
Yes.
So like it is possible that this is a missing line, but that seems like a big miss, right?
Yeah,
like
it's a huge miss.
Like editorial would have been like, oh shit, like we'll just draw that a little deeper. So it's like, is this dude a 0-liner who can like unlock the line, like
or conceal it rather?
Conceal it, sure, and unlock it and show it voluntarily, like Rain does with his third, but he can do it with like all of his lines. Say, I don't know.
Yeah. Is it just on this side of the face that's cut off by the?
It very well could
camera?
Be. Yeah.
You know, it's on the other side of his face. That's
definitely could
way over here towards the back of the ear and the neck. That's, you know, because. Yeah. You still can see a part of the right side of his face, of course.
This dude, more tomato, more. So his line design, the first thing that came to mind when I saw his line design was like geokinesis, and like maybe he can conjure mazes. Because his line design looks kind of mazy, you know what I'm saying? So like
that'd be sick.
Maybe he has like landscape, you know, control to some degree.
That'd be super sick.
Yeah.
I think this Carpaccio Luo Yang is super tight looking. He looks really cool.
Yeah.
What's his line design about, bro?
Yo, I don't know. It looks like a staff. I mean, like it looks like
it looks like a staff. Yeah.
Yeah, like a mage's staff, but like,
traditional magic.
That's the thing is that like some lines,
zero affinity, some magic. This is the affinity of magic affinity of magic. Right?
General, that'd be sick.
A general zero type.
But see, like at the same time, though,
cool.
what's so frustrating about theorizing, powers based on line designs is that I'm pretty sure that we can be confident to say that there are some lines designs that don't give away what your ability is.
Yeah.
So like at any point in time, the author can just be like, well, this one doesn't show what I mean? And it's just like, fuck, man, like I have so many
maybe
ideas.
we just haven't solved the mystery,
or maybe
they all tie,
and maybe they do
didn't.
all yes, and we just didn't notice it. But there are some where everyone has the same solid line, one line, down the same side of their cheek. Mean
something.
So could mean maybe that could mean a clan of some kind.
Or you just there's X amount of people that get like a basic tier of magic, right? Like, and they just even though Dote has explosion magic, we'll just call fire. Okay, you have this base fire magic affinity that you're just gonna get a one, and I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to be fire, but just a bottom tier of affinities. So like because we I mean, when you look at the characters, it's like we have Lance go straight down for gravity. We have Lemon with a lock on hers, a shackle on hers. You got Dote with the fucking like EKG machine or whatever.
Seismograph.
Yeah,
seismograph. That like so. I mean, I'm still on that boat, and I just think that they're just trash tier. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Trash tier. Ones. You don't get a design that reveals your affinity.
Yeah.
But then it's still the same situation then, because then that still means that not all lines tell you what you can do, which means that at any point in time the author can just be like, this one doesn't tell you.
Maybe you have we know lines are not like absolute, right? They can come and go. We have theorized that we can fucking Zetsu suppress them.
Yeah.
So is it possible that you just get a straight basic ass line until you've unlocked X amount of your magic and your line will turn into your own?
Yes. That's it. There it is.
I can see it. I can see it.
I love that. That makes me feel so much better about this entire thing.
Mm-hmm. I just don't know enough,
Yeah.
At the very end here, like Mash, where it says like 7 coins. Like I just love the lead up, right? Like all the 3 coin people, 3 coin, 3 coin, 3 coin. Oh, there's some 4 coin people, 5 coin. Mash still has 7. Just like the cape flutters out. You know what I mean? Like ooh, so
and look at how he's drawn.
Yes.
On the top panel, look at that hair over the eyes. Look at that, look at those eyes. Period. You know what I mean? Like look at Mash right now.
Serious.
Yeah, serious Mash.
It definitely, like, just coming out of the Coliseum tunnel there just feels like,
that scene is
so
always
hype. You just
ready.
Yeah. It's super hype. Now, man, I just feel like it's gonna be Lance versus Margaret, and I don't know what Mash is gonna do, but like Mash might have to just go around and start, just wrecking everybody else, which would be, comedic too, because he's gonna be able to send magic users out with fucking brute force, and that Gravity versus sound feels like such a good matchup to me, right? Like it's just, I would love to see how those interact.
Things that are so hard to deal with from a distance, you know what I mean? Like as soon as I cast my gravity magic, you're under its effects, you know what I mean? Like like it affects every part of you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as you hear my sound magic, probably, it affects every part of you. You're under its, both very intangible, you know what I mean? Like forces to fight against, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they both feel like top tier double liners, right? Like they're gonna get they're gonna take full advantage of second level spells. Even though like we haven't really saw that from Lance. The only thing we saw was he has a second level spell, which was the introduction of second level spells anyway. So like you can't take a lot from that. But
have you ever seen two second spells clash directly?
No, I don't think so.
What if the elements like combine? And like make like an entirely new reaction inside of like the second tier. I'm thinking about that because of the spell break.
Nick, I feel like you're thinking of Abyss Razor and Rain, right? Like I don't know, that wasn't.
Or like that was the Mud Dude. Didn't the Mud Dude have a second level spell?
Oh, sure, I think he did.
And then Rain obliterated it with his second level spell. Like he surrounded him with those pillars or whatever. And
yes, yep.
And he surrounded the second level spell with the pillars and wasn't it?
Oh yes, that is exactly how it happened. The dude was getting whooped by Lance. Then he said, "Fuck you, bro. I got second spell. Now what?"
Yeah,
and Lance was like, "So do I, bro." And then and then he overpowered.
Pretty sure that's how it went.
Yeah, that is exactly.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
You're right.
I think that is exactly how it went. But still,
that is how.
Like elements can still combine inside of the second tier, even if they didn't combine last time, because like gravity and mud don't really make a whole bunch of sense. But like, what is like fire and ice look like at second level fighting each other? You know what I mean?
Right, right.
What does lightning and whatever? You know what I mean? So
metal.
The only reason why lightning and metal is a way better example. Obviously, we know what happens when fire and ice collide, but like lightning and metal, that might be a different reaction that could be really cool to see.
Right.
The only reason why I say that is because I'm playing Spellbreak right now, and like that's a mechanic in the game. You know what I mean? So is that like you have these elemental gauntlets and you shoot them at people, and then your ultimate abilities collide with other ultimate abilities and create new elemental effects. So that could be cool to see in this.
For sure.
And it plays into, going back to what I was saying about how the base stat increase that you get from going into your true wand form felt very video game-ish to me.
For sure,
I felt like something that, an item gives you in a game. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
awesome. That's all I had for this chapter.
Yeah, I think I'm good too.
Yep.
Okay, getting into Black Clover, chapter 279. Do we have a title for this chapter? Oh, yes. The Door to Hell.
Yes.
Wow.
Starting off with some Marioliona.
Whenever I
Yes.
see Marioliona, I'm like, this is going to be a good chapter. And then we don't see
so this is
chapter.
two weeks in a row where items or substances are oddly placed in the nipular areas.
Nipular!
Like it's 2 weeks in a row. Like, but it's like I first pull this chapter up as the first page, and I'm like, what the fuck am I? Okay, those are buttons. All right, what's Tabata? You gotta stop doing this to me every week on the cover of the first page. I feel like man, y'all, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
man?
that's right.
Too much nipular action.
Because last chapter we had the blood spot. Where the nipple would be. Oh my god, I'm screaming.
When we got some Knocked spying on people.
Yeah, the cat. That's super cool that the cat does that.
Okay, oh my god. So when I first read this, I was like, Vanessa's here? I was like, Vanessa's just got Rouge, like a little, like, facsimile. I thought it was like a little facsimile of Rouge, like connected to everybody and giving them a little bit of fate, like help. Sure. You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh wait, he wouldn't do his
glad that didn't happen.
Yeah. But his feline form design is so good.
Super sick. Super sick.
Oh, this is one of the best designs I've seen from this series.
Yep.
If not like this is.
I mean, Noct is just like one of the coolest characters in the whole series.
Yes. It just is. It just is. That's true.
This page. On page 8.
8.
Yeah.
Union mode. Feliz. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Super sick.
All right, anyway. But oh my god, man. Okay, so here's the thing. So when this is Rosalie, and who is Charlotte standing in front of with the cat
Vanica?
next to them?
Oh wait,
what page you looking
at?
at?
I'm sorry, on page 3. So so we have Charlotte there with, and she's standing in front of a figure whose back is to us.
That's the painting.
That's
boy.
Vanica.
Vanica's in the ball.
In the ball. You're right. That's real.
The painting magic guy.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, who?
I don't know why
Charlotte
I thought that
with
was Vanica. Then.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
But yeah. Yep. But yeah. So the Noct gets the Eye of Thundera, right? Like his Sword of Omens. Give me sight beyond sight.
Yes.
And he gets to see everything that's happening, right? Like it's literally fucking straight out of Thundercats. And I'm pretty sure there's like some lore that supports like a cat eye. Man, what's a jewel? There's a jewel. There's a cat eye jewel.
There's a cat eye. Yeah.
I felt like there's some man, I don't know what culture it comes from, but something where there's some lore there that has like an all-eye seeing ability.
Oh, all-seeing eye thing, sure.
Yeah, all-seeing eye kind of thing. Maybe that's what's going on here, which also would tie into why Lionel can do it with the Sword of Omens as well.
Sure.
Through the Eye of Thundera.
I like that better than at least the name, like the name and the technique here, like Heaven's Shadow, Second Sight. It's like, okay, you have shadow magic. What are you telling me here? That you literally you're using the clouds, the heavens, and the shadow of the heavens onto, you can see anything? Like, that seems like a stretch of the concept of shadow and shade or whatever. But
I didn't even think about that. The shadow that's casted from the clouds.
I guess that's what it means, right?
Oh, okay, so that's a shadow, and I can
Heaven's
see
shadow.
through that. I can see everything that shadow touches.
That'd be wild.
I would assume there's some
there should
proximity,
be a true magic.
right?
There should be a true magic label on that then.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, but regardless, you would think that if that is exactly what's happening here, there has to be a proximity, like it's only the clouds directly above me because that's what's happening. I mean, these are clouds directly above Noct. It's not like he's seeing what's happening in the fucking Clover Kingdom right now, right? So I
don't even think this has anything to do
gotta
with
balance
clouds,
it.
Personally, I think that what I took from it was that his he's just basically using shadows to see, and the shadows that are already there grant him vision.
Yeah, but I mean, like
inside of this canine form only.
Or it's cat, but yeah.
Or I mean, feline form.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yes, that is the way that I took it. Inside of this form, I can see through shadows inside of a certain proximity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's called Heaven's Shadow, and
yes.
Yeah,
it is.
And there's also like you can be inside, right? Mm-hmm. Inside a building, and there's still lights and shadows, right? Mm-hmm. So like they all can't be touching all the shadows, right? Like so I totally see what you're saying, and it definitely could be that way, that just like kind of like a area of effect, all the shadows in the area I now have vision access into.
Yes.
I do think it makes sense based on the name that like.
But how do you get the bird's eye view?
Yeah, you get the bird's eye view.
Yeah.
So but if it is a situation where it's like, okay, the shadows above us or I mean the clouds above us are casting a shadow, I have vision inside of that shadow. That I feel like should be a true magic spell then. Because
maybe
if you can pull a lightning bolt, from a cloud, if you're a lightning mage and you're using true lightning magic, then like that's not too far outside of the realm of possibility for a shadow user to use the shadow cast.
They're getting hit with the element though, right? Like Gaja is taking lightning from the cloud, hitting it, harnessing it, and using it again. And that's true magic, right? Like it's not just I pulled a lightning bolt out of a cloud and I'm just gonna have I'm not Big Mom and that's not fucking Zeus up there zapping whoever I want it to zap. So maybe that is the difference, and like, but then it also feels like what he's doing with the devil. But there's a devil.
No, but still, I'm saying, like, even inside of your explanation with Gaja, though, Gaja gets the lightning bolt to hit him, and then he takes that true lightning bolt energy and manifests it in his own way. It's still a giant cloud that's casting its own shadow that Noct can tap into outside of his own personal shadow magic.
But you would feel like that shadow has to hit Noct, and he has to take it in and use it some other way, right? Like
because he's inside right now, so that shadow wouldn't reach him.
Yeah, and let's not act like we can. If any of these, if there's even going to be rules to any of this shit we're talking about, so like, I mean, we very well could be.
Thought, but
I
don't think we're qualified to try to try to make sense of the energy system right now.
To go back a little bit, I just love this like page 4 or 5 or whatever, where like Dante's like, yes, like fuck, let's square up, let's do it, baby, and then zucchini, just like, what is this feeling? You know what I mean? Like, oh man, and I love
that. I really felt the pressure in that scene. Which is something that I felt like was missing from Tabata's storytelling, was this honest, this way to to introduce like a very anxious uncertainty, you know.
The tension was there in this chapter. I felt the tension very much.
Nox's tension, like you can see that, like his eyes obviously are drawn very intensely, but like on page 13, where he yells no, like oh shit, like
he's very worried.
yeah.
This is the most emotional we've seen him been since his character was introduced.
100%.
And because of how reserved he's been and how emotionless he seemed to be, that's what gives the situation stakes, is how concerned Noct finally is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is good shit, Tabata. Look at this double spread.
Yeah.
Oh my god. 14 and 15.
Yeah.
I was not ready for that page turn.
These devils look wild. They look,
and this is
fantastic.
This is
sick.
Yeah, this is Tabata's strength right here.
Yes,
like this is what we're reading Black Clover for, is these panels. Like I can't wait for the next, X amount of fucking chapters, because the one on the right has like a more fiery element to the darkness on the shoulder, and the female one on the left has like a icicle kind of situation,
maybe earthy
spikes,
or maybe
either ice
could
or
be earthy.
earth or ice. I agree.
You would assume it would just be ice because fire's right there. But
right.
But the composition of the arms, right? Like the fire one looks like the arm is kind of made of like smoldering energy, right? Where the right one looks like that is kind of more earthy, right? Or I'm sorry, the one on the left and on her right arm is rocky. Yeah. So I think that's probably
texture
right. But
game is drastic, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's
for sure. Like look at the texture of the wings too. You got a bat wing and an angel wing situation.
Look at this like middle piece. You know what I mean? Or what? I don't even remember. Like, what is this in the middle? I don't remember.
I don't really know exactly what you're talking about.
In the directly in the middle of
that's transformed Noct. Looking at
it's not. Oh
yeah, like okay, yep. That's transformed. Like look at that. Like look at the the design and the detail and like the texture inside of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I love how Tabata plays with negative space to create this very bony feeling effect on the horns that he draws.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's always something that I wanted to say, like, Tabata, I love you for that, you know what I mean? Because these horns on Dante, on any devil user, always, like, look like they're actually the material they're supposed to be, you know what I mean?
Yes,
like, not just, like, a drawn representation of that, and we kind of, like, use our mind to fill in the blanks. Like, no, this actually looks like a rhino horn or something, you know what I mean? Like,
totally agree.
So, we talked about this before, but... So when Noct casts the shadow magic thing, he's got that veil over his pupils again. And we talked about that before when he was seeing things that we weren't, why the fuck is he seeing things? Like, what's exactly happening here? And as the chapter goes on, it's the shadow is pretty pronounced there throughout most panels until you get to that panel you're talking about, 14 and 15. It starts to dissipate because he's seeing something right in front of him that's like totally takes his concentration away. Yeah, but it's both, like, right? It's like the eye, the pupil is dilated or reversed. What's the opposite of dilating? Focusing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure.
The shrinky one.
The shrinky one. Focusing and the energy, the shadow dissipating on the eyes, because it's no longer looking at this other space, which
it's looking at
exactly
here. Yeah, it's no
which I do want to talk about, like what he is seeing here, because Morris gives off big Shao Tucker vibes, like standing on the fucking standing on the fucking transmutation circle, which is a rune circle, but whatever. Hey, whatever we want to call it, look like transmutation circle, and we're about to do some human transmutation to me here, but yeah, like it's crazy though. Like I feel like this chapter like borrowed well from other stories too, because like Morris here standing in like the Lolo Pachica space with the fucking library and shit was super fucking tight. That he could that now he's in this same space that she was, which you get a good explanation as to how and why he can do that. Which we'll talk about that next. But
so is this an actual space or is this metaphorical?
I want to say it's metaphorical, but this is the same space Lola Pachica was shown to be in when she could access all these records,
which could be a metaphor in itself.
All the knowledge of all the queens.
I have this access. Like, this is the art representation of me just having this knowledge. Like this. I didn't think that this was an actual like dimension or space that she like legitimately went into.
Yeah. I would also think it's like metaphorical. It doesn't really matter, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, but like definitely on page 12, say 12 bottom panel, like he is with a book over Lolopechika, extracting it out. He says, you know, extract and transplant even Lolopechika's wisdom, right? So like I think that's what he's doing, and then like sure, like now that he knows it, he can imagine himself in this big, you know, library floaty space where he's like, I know all
the knowledge, so
runes and the Heart Kingdom magic, and I'm going to use it to accelerate, you know,
the underworld gate opening.
Yeah.
Wow, so they rushed it. So we were talking about this. Oh wait, go ahead, Kiko.
Well, I was just saying, like how it kind of shared from other stories. I mean, the library. I mean, you see libraries, right? Like in other things, but like I just immediately kind of, you know, I feel like UQ Holder has and fucking Negima has an infinite library similar to this. I was thinking of like Halloween space, right? Like.
You know,
Chainsaw
Man.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I've just thought about, you know, all these. I mean, think about Ohara Library just because I watched the fucking. That's just tragic, you know. Them throwing all the books out the window, you know. But like, just that's what I was thinking of first though. Is like the UQ Holder one. It looks a lot like what's going on there. So like, it just feels like it you know, borrowed from other stories in a good way that doesn't feel like it's exactly what happened in other stories, and you know, put their own cool spins on
execution was there everywhere throughout this chapter. Top to executed like literally every area of like what this chapter was supposed to tell us, or what this chapter was supposed to give us, like the most important things, all of the meat was executed brilliantly. I feel like from top to like this panel of Morris over Lolopechika had me like, oh shit, like this is real right now. You know what I mean? Like. I haven't felt this level of discomfort reading this manga in a really long time. Like this uncertainty is really nice right now. And we were talking about like back when Noct had the conversation at the round table with Julius and everybody and told them about the plan. And they were like, okay, so there's this level, and then this kind of demons are here. Then the lower you go, the stronger they get. And we were talking about how like, okay, so like if they had this much trouble at this point in time with this caliber of demon that doesn't even touch into the gate being open, they get 3 days to get stronger because they want to match or hope to kind of exceed the power that just defeated all of them. And then once they've now leveled up to kind of hope to match that strength, you're going to unleash things that make them look like toddlers. So that made me think back then, okay, so they're just not going to open this gate, because if you open this gate, it's not going to make sense that you beat these things. You know what I mean? Is what I said back then. You know, but the gate's open. You know what I mean? The gate is open, and here are some demons. You know, so
the word devil wasn't that far. He was classified as a high level demon or a high level devil. Zagrid was a high level devil. So it doesn't feel it doesn't feel like he was an entry level. You know, that they literally needed like an entry level demon that they needed fucking Yami, licked.
I was talking about Dante, Xenon, and Vanica. Right.
Oh yeah.
So like they got their shit pushed in by them essentially. So then they're like, well, let's train so we can beat them. You know what I mean? So they're training to beat something, you know, that is way weaker than the thing that they just unleashed. So like, at what Asta's form that they teased is going to be enough, or like I don't know, man. Like it's just weird. I don't see like I don't know. I was really confident that they just wouldn't open the gate.
Right. And also, I do agree that before it was said that as you go deeper down into the Kifloth or whatever you want to call it, right? The levels, they get stronger. They get stronger. But then these ones that came out, I mean, like, sure, I mean, they could be weak for the highest order, but it says they are devils of the highest order, right? Like, these are top tier, like, you know.
Maybe the highest order is this entire hierarchical underground.
Right.
Yeah.
And then obviously it just, the highest order is obviously at the bottom, but they're still classified as highest order just by being demons in the gate.
Right. But I totally agree with you though. Like it will be interesting to see how this is handled, because certainly, you know, 3 days ago or whatever in time, no one would be able to beat these people, right? Like impossible. If you can't even beat Vanica, Dante, and Xenon, there's no way you'd be able to beat a real demon, you know, devil coming out of here, right? So like it will be interesting to see how this is handled.
Yes,
for sure.
But so Zagrid, the word devil Zagreus did not look as he didn't have as much going on as these devils, right? Like these devils have like this element to them that's clearly pronounced, you know, and that they got just their wings look more like just crazy. They have like these like little half or quarter masks on. Like Zagreus didn't have a lot of that shit. So I feel like
have booty wings, or did he have shoulder wings?
No. Here, let me see. I think he had shoulder wings. I did pull up a picture of him. Yeah, I did pick up a picture of him.
I wonder where booty wings come from, because I mean, like that's a Lovecraftian thing too.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it's safe to say that Zagreus was a mid-tier demon or devil, and these are actually the high grade, whatever, all the way in the bottom of the the deepest depths of hell devils. I'm very confident they are. Or at least among the higher ones.
So they fast-tracked all the way to like the bottom, like ninth circle.
To the bottom right away, which is a huge question, because it's like, why, right? Like, why was this a mistake on Morris's part? Like, okay, I took in all this Lola Pachica information and I opened the rift too big, right? Like, and we're bringing out the deep depth ones already, right?
Why would it be too big for him? He wants them to come out.
Well, Morris is just hard to say. Like, it's just really hard to say, like, what his goals are, I guess, because it's like, he's a devil host. He's been, I don't know for how long, maybe his whole life. It almost kind of sounded like he was almost born a devil host, right? It's like a heavenly restriction almost. I was blinded.
Yeah,
right?
It did sound like a heavenly restriction when I was reading it. I was like, what are they saying right now?
Yeah. So, like, that's why I was just like, we don't know Morris's actual motivations, and
we don't know anything about the origin of devil hosts, like what the qualifications are.
Right.
We don't have exposition on like what makes you okay to have a devil in you. So
it's just thinking like Zagreus was like it's just really hard. If Zagreus not like a mid-tier devil and Zagreus was like the weakest devil you could get, it could be that too. It took a lot to fucking beat Zagreus. So much. It took all the strongest characters we know in the series. On the good side and antagonist, protagonist, they all had to fucking basically band together to fucking fight him. So like, if that's the case, like, I mean, Dante has been excited to fight forever and ever and ever here, and on this last panel, he's or not last, page 16. He's pretty shook once fucking Jack gets blown past him, right? Like he's like, oh shit! Like feels like Dante wants to fight devils, but these ones are too like actually the highest order. Like these are too high of devils. I didn't sign up to get these devils out here. Why is Morris doing the most here, bringing these super top tier devils out right now? Like I don't know. I know.
Man, is Jack gonna be all right? He got hit by both of these. He got hit by both of these devils.
No,
just the one.
No, because both of their hands are up.
Well, one said I missed,
and one was swinging at.
One was swinging at Notch. Oh, okay, sure.
That's characteristic agility and dodging.
Still though.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Jack is getting messed up a little bit. I imagine.
I definitely thought he got hit by both of them. Okay. So
sure. In terms of the motivation, I mean, like, I guess I'm unclear why we're concerned or questioning the motivations, because everyone who is wanting to open up this gate, right, are bad and they're trying to get demons into the world. That's the only motivation, right? There's no making a power source. There's no. What do you think the motivation is?
True.
Everyone's just trying to open the gates. Like, what motivation is there?
Dante wants to fight the strongest devils, right? Like he basically wants to be like he wants like full power over his devil. Like he wants actual full control over Lucifero, right? Like,
or maybe he just wants true devil strength or true devil level strength.
Yeah, it feels like he actually wants something like that's not just I'm going to. There's got to be more, and maybe it's been stated, and
I don't remember. I don't recall it being stated.
I know that we've gotten a flashback of Dante for some reason. We showed him back in the day. I think that was just to show how crazy he was already before he got the devil actually.
And the shitty stuff he did to Yuno's family on the way out.
Yeah, but I don't think we've ever like actually like he said things in combat like I want to fight you, show me your power, things like that. But like. So you can
he likes fighting for sure.
Yeah, but
why would he be fighting the devils coming out of the gate he's trying to open? Like, unless he just wants to try and see how strong he is, but like he's gonna get washed. I guess.
To control him, right? To become Devil King, right? Basically, and harness all powers of Devil, and he gets strong. I don't know. Like that's kind of what I always. Maybe that's just my own headcanon, but I always felt like he wanted to open him specifically to master his devil power, or even I don't know, like because isn't his devil Lucifero is a devil of the highest order as well, right? Like he's one of. I'm pretty confident. He's supposed to be kind of made out to be like the devil, the strongest
devil, yeah,
the devil. Maybe, so
yeah,
and I don't know, they can't go 100% like Noct, right? Like that's why they have these percentages because it's a different unit
type, yeah.
So I don't know, but we'll see. I guess I felt like there's something a little more there that, and I just feel like Morris too, like them teaming up with Morris just because it's like, hey. You were the crazy fucking Diamond Kingdom scientist, and we need a scientist, and here you are. We're gonna have you do this thing. I don't know. Like they're just. I'm just gonna give Tabata the benefit of the doubt and assume there's a lot. Maybe not even a lot, but just more to it than I want to bring devils out to just kill everybody and just unleash chaos on the world, right? Like. I feel like there's more to it than that.
I would love for there to be more. I hope that there's more. I feel like I need there to be more than that, and I'm assuming that there is more.
Yeah,
well, I don't want that Morris has been in the story. Like that was it for me. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's really all I have though. I don't have too much more here. I think the tension in this was good. I felt it the entire time.
Yeah.
I am scared for the characters at the end.
Yeah.
I was worried when the fucking energy exclamation points whatever happened, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that. It was a good chapter. I like this chapter, and I think that
I love the last couple chapters.
Yeah, me too. And I agree with what Nick is saying.
This
like how this is going to be handled with
arcs, you know what I'm saying? Like this happens all the time with me, you know what I mean? Where I'll be like, I'm not really feeling this, and the Tabitha will be like, oh yeah, you sure? Well, here, and I'll be like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, more of that, and then he'll be like, back to it, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, well, fuck, dude. But still keeping my fingers crossed here for Black Clover, because I am very excited about the direction of this. Like this could go so many amazing ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
it could go bad ways too if they somehow beat like if they just join with Dante right now and just beat him. Like it's just like stave them off and then they get to like more time can pass and you know, I don't know, this gate's open and they're like, well fuck, we fucked up. They're way too strong. So I gotta join forces now with the Black Clover, the Clover Kingdom. No.
Wait, so if the gate's open, then what does that mean? Wait, Yami and William.
Yeah, they're dead.
No, they're not. They've only opened the fucking top level of the gate or whatever. I know, Kiko, you were saying like they dug down deep at the bottom level. Nope, not possible. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah. They only opened the top level, and so they won't die until the bottom level is open. Like they have the entire all the levels.
So they're gonna keep like shrinking and getting fruitier and fruitier.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Okay, so you're saying these devils are
the weakest they're gonna face.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying they look the coolest almost too because they are the weakest because they are going to get smaller and like more sleek because like then Zagrid was a higher devil than these two.
I don't remember. I don't remember how high he was.
Like that. If the design matters like that, then yeah.
Yeah, it would. You would feel like I mean, if you have these two, you know.
This is the first time I thought about the design mattering for the power.
I don't think the design matters at all. I think they just look cool.
That's what I thought.
I mean, but Zagrid's so much smaller than these without like a pronounced element, and like it was just a very different feel, which is good. If Zagrid is actually a mid-tier devil, then Zagrid is a lot stronger than these two devils, which would make a lot of sense to why they needed.
No, these are devils of the highest order. These are top-tier devils.
Yeah, they did say that.
They're the weakest. They're the weakest top-tier devil they're going to face, and I don't think Zagrid was.
No, but you're saying
Zagrid better not be this strong. I mean, maybe it makes sense, I guess, if Zagrid was this strong, and then took Yami and Licht and everyone to beat him, like right? But I don't think the design. I don't think the design matters because, like, how would you design a word devil to be looking elemental like these two, right? Like, I think these just look cool. Let's be happy with how cool they look, and we'll see how the next ones come out. But I don't really see.
But
The design,
Zagrid,
power level.
Zagrid is much. His design is much different from these two. He doesn't have a mask on at all. His whole face is exposed. He has big shoulder wings and not tiny back wing or smaller back wings. He's just smaller and sleeker. So much smaller than these ones. You know, like, and if you go by the Frieza rule, the smaller he gets, the stronger he gets, right? So like, I mean, I don't know, but like,
I definitely think that design could, you know, play a factor. I'm not saying that.
I mean, it's Tabata's strongest fucking. It's his strongest characteristic is like design,
weird
right?
To think about, you know what I mean, right now,
like
for me.
But Nick, I just want to. You're saying the highest order is the weakest tier. It's the top tier and it's the weakest.
No. I'm saying every single devil that comes out of the portal through all the levels, they're all going to be devils of the highest order. They're all going to be S tier devils, but in the S tier, in the S class, you have number 1, Blast, number 2, you know what I mean? Like going down the line until you get to, you know, Bang at Genos, whatever. Yeah. Like they're still devils of the highest order, but the ones at the top here are the weakest that you're going to face because they said before that the lower level you go down, the stronger they're going to be. So like
well, that either means that these are the weakest devils that just came out of the door opening, or they're the strongest ones from the bottom. But either way, they're going to be. Yeah.
I feel like Nick is saying they're the strongest demon or strongest devils in the weakest tier. Like they rule over the weakest tier.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they're the weakest and the strongest tier.
No, Nick. Okay. So
they are at the bottom. So they are at the bottom of the fucking tree already, but they're just the weakest at that in the bottom of the tree.
No.
But by bottom, do you mean deeper?
Yes, deeper. The deeper they are, the stronger they are.
Right.
Yes. So these are the shallowest. These are the closest to the top, closest to the surface of the earth, and they are the weaker. Weakest. They're the weaker than people below them, but they are very strong devils.
Stronger than what we've seen before because the
gate. But that still means they're the weakest devils in this hierarchy.
Yes.
I mean, that was the first one I said. You guys said no.
Well, I mean, I just want to reiterate that they're very strong and they're devils of the highest order and they are top tier devils. There are stronger devils deeper down.
But does that mean there's weaker devils that have nothing to do with this tree?
Yeah,
is what you're
for sure, absolutely.
There should be, right?
Okay.
Yeah, there's like weak ass devils. They're not even related to this portal.
So were the devils with Lieb when they threw them through were they, you know, like inside of this hierarchy?
I think so.
Okay. So then,
I personally think so.
So then that's the tier of devil that we're seeing right now is the ones that threw.
Because a lot of these tiered hell lores, right? A lot of these tiered hell lores that you can get through a lot of cultures. Obviously, the deeper your hell, the stronger the devil, right? So like, I'm thinking like if we're at just this top tier, we're at tier number 1 of 9 or whatever it was.
Yep.
Like no devil on tier 2 is weaker than any devil on tier 1. And you guys are maybe still saying that?
Yeah.
I'm okay to just say, let's move on to My Hero Academia because I don't think we're going to get through English in this scenario here.
I know. It's just super confusing to what you're saying. But yeah, that's totally fine.
Sure.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I just want to say, to finish it off, that I am now subscribed to the idea that these two devils are from the weakest tier. But any devil that you get at another tier will be stronger than these two. So I'm feeling like Zagrid is 2 or 3 tiers under. And that makes sense with the design and for narratively why it took literally the kitchen sink to beat him. Like literally, like it took so much to beat
these
Zagrid.
Guys easier than Zagrid. And it won't feel weird, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yes. Because I pictured these. But when you say the highest order to me, like I feel like these are the strongest devils that exist. These are the top tier class of devil. Period. No matter what.
That was
so
the
these
very
would be
first
in the
conversation
bottom.
we had this segment was like, what highest like devils of the highest order like means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we were like, so this whole entire tree is devils of the highest order. So anything that comes out is going to be a devil inside of that classification.
And the key part I was missing when you guys were saying that is that you guys are saying that there's devils that have nothing to do with this tree out in some other hell somewhere else.
Oh
basically.
yeah, I still feel like that's
I definitely think that way too. I think there's only like 13 demons in here.
Yeah, I didn't think that this was like the one home for every demon in this lore inside of this like tree.
Why is only 2 coming out if there's so many in here?
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, you
because
know what I mean?
they run their level.
Oh, sure. But I mean, if it's wide open and I'm running in that level, I'd be like, yo, the door's open, you guys. Like, let's get the fuck out of here, you know, right?
No. You're not even allowed to go in the human world. I'm about to take over the human world. It's mine. None of y'all get to come out.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could still control the human world with your lackeys there.
Yeah, but who knows? You know, maybe lackeys grow stronger out in the world. Fighting good. You know, like don't even give them the opportunity.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I think the big open question for me, just one more point, or in terms of Zagrid, is that like I really have no gauge of how strong Zagrid is in comparison to these two. I think we will find out, right? Yeah. Like we'll quickly find out, and I hope we get like maybe some confirmation, like a dialogue from someone saying like, "Oh yeah, that Zagrid dude, like he was pretty strong, like way stronger than these two," or say maybe, "Oh, like these two are way stronger than him," right? I would love to get some language of there because like
delineation.
Yeah. Because currently I'm unclear. Yeah.
The thing that wouldn't make sense if Zagrid is from the same level as these two demons, and these two demons devils are extreme, like way stronger than Zagrid. You know, I don't know. That would just feel odd.
That would weird. That would feel weird. Yeah. I mean, any kind of explanation will help. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Like, even if that did feel weird to us, Tabata could write an explanation for it. You know what I mean? Like, we just have to wait for it. But I mean, if it feels weird right now, we can't really help that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
But
yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
All right. So we're good on Black Clover.
I'm good.
Great. Okay. Getting into the final segment of the night. Boku no Hero Academia, chapter 298, Sounds of Collapse. So this chapter is obviously a little bit of a decompression, obviously chapter, you know, like coming out of what has been happening for the last X amount of time. But I like how it's not a hard deviation. You know what I mean? It definitely still kind of trails, you know, out of the last chapter, which I definitely feel like was the best choice here. You definitely, like, with momentum like that, you don't just want to
hard stop,
cut it off, like, because for obvious reasons. But I think that I think last chapter blends into this chapter very well. And even though I wish that we would have gotten a lot more, obviously, I feel Kiko will, you know, agree that we could have gotten more, you know, of this shit going on. But for what we got, it was executed beautifully. The storytelling and the flow fit great. Nothing felt jarring, you know, or anything like that. So
yeah, definitely feels good as like a self-contained chapter, right? Like you get everything that you really need for at this point. But like it's just weird that you have such a fucking huge standoff, fucking, you know, cliffhanger between All For One and Shiggy, and then that's that. We don't like.
I'm sure we'll see the conclusion of that.
We have to. We definitely have to go back. But we definitely skipped what happened between the two of them in the prison, and it's going to feel weird if we don't go back to that. I mean,
do you think so? Because I mean, like, I don't know. Like, obviously we don't see what happened, right? But skipping ahead to, like, you know, 6 and 7, right, where the league is together, whatever. You have All For One, you have Shigaraki, the whole gang here, like. Shigaraki is completely under All For One's control at this moment, right? Like the dialogue is All For One speaking through Shigaraki's body. And so I mean, I guess I just assumed that back in that scene at the prison where there was this like epic standoff, there was no standoff. It was just him seeing himself. You know what I mean? Like All For One and Shigaraki, like, yep, here we are.
Wait, where's
like,
All For One's real body?
It's right. What do you mean? It's right. Isn't it right behind Shigaraki?
No.
I don't think that's
on page 7.
Yeah, but he's sitting on top of a Nomu with no All For One behind him.
So let me tell you what I think here. So if we go back to page 5,
sure, he's in a plane
down here in the bottom panel. Yeah, this is looking like, I mean, this is definitely All For One's body, but it looks like he's literally transformed his index finger to turn into a human that could beat the biometrics and that could fly the plane.
I thought he was going to control with his finger, like stuck in his brain and is controlling it.
His one finger could be in the brain. It could like just be in his head.
Yeah.
You know, instead of that. But like just Yeah, I mean that's probably right because of the way the eyes, the eyes are drawn around it of the pilot. You know, looking like it's dead but not dead kind of thing. Yeah,
like Paco looked when Pitot was in his brain getting the Nen information.
Yeah.
So he took this plane and bounced with his real body, and then left Shigaraki there, and he's communicating through Shigaraki's body from wherever he is on this plane or wherever his new location.
They all jumped on the plane because they went and they went and attacked all these other prisons to get prisoners, right?
Yes.
Like, so I don't think just All for One, his hunk of flesh body, because that's what it feels like. It feels like it's like and I was thinking like it was a shape-shifting body that just kind of maybe stored, I don't know, quirk still, or maybe there does have to be some kind of fusion between the Shigaraki and All for One body. But like, man, it's so weird because Shigaraki was talking last week. But Shigaraki was talking last week. It wasn't. It was they were battling within the mind, right? Like there has to be more exposition on what happened. And then think about this. Where the fuck is Moonfish? Where the fuck is Muscular? Where the fuck is Chisaki? You got where the fuck is Stain? Why is Spinner just now realizing, like, who are you? This isn't the man I chose to follow.
That's fair.
Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I feel like needs to be explored.
I feel like the way we'll get it is that, like, the next time there's a conflict, we are going to see that the antagonists of the scene are Moonfish, Muscular. They're going to be in their, costumes. They're going to be aligned with a certain group of people. That's going to be the next time we see them, and then we're going to get exposition thereafter on what they're doing there and what transpired in this missing amount of time.
So to be clear, I just want to ask, like, so on page 7, you're thinking, and it's totally fine if you are, but you're thinking that All for One is not actually there in that panel.
That's what I thought.
That is a metaphorical. He's talking through Shigaraki. So Shigaraki, like on the bottom is there and talking and looking at you with his eye. But behind him, that All for One, you're thinking that is literally a metaphorical, artistic way of saying that this is All for One in Shigaraki's body. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the way that I took it when I first read it, because I don't. Like,
that's fine if it is.
Yeah, like he's so like he's right there on page 7.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And obviously, you can just chalk it up to distance, not being shown adequately from this perspective, or whatever. But like he's clearly not there in the page before. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not anywhere in the scene, not anywhere visible in the scene.
Yeah.
So
well, and I was subscribed to that way of thinking at first because I believed that All for One in Shigi's body can use his All for One flesh hunk body as a shape-shifting like method to shape-shift into whatever you want. Yeah, anything. Yeah, exactly. So like I did feel that way, but now, I mean, if that's just him putting his finger into the brain of that guy, then no, I don't think that anymore. And I do think this is a real All for One. And he might be emerging. I mean, because look around the neck area, like maybe he's emerging out of a Nomu, like
sure.
Like what is all this torn up area? Is this a shirt? Is this his like, has he got like some kind of cape thing on?
Prison clothes.
Yeah, is prison clothes ripped up like that way? Yeah, sure. It definitely could be. But I don't know. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I just kind of assumed he was literally there. But like now that you say it, like now I'm like definitely second guessing myself. Like, is he actually there?
Bro on the previous page? Like, why wouldn't he be shown there with them if he's that close to him?
That I could definitely just chalk off to he's just off panel. But I mean, it is so weird, right? But then where is Moonfish? Where is Stain? Where is all these people? That's a good point. Like they seem to be with All for One.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's true. And especially with Spinner's dialogue here, like, who are you? You're not the guy I agree to follow. Well, if there's a marionette puppet thing fucking doing this in the background behind me, then you know damn well that isn't who you follow. But he's looking at Shigaraki's body and being like, you're not fucking Shigaraki in there, and I'm not fucking sure
All for One is not physically there to me.
Yeah.
What proves it, sorry?
Who are you? You're not the guy Spinner. I agreed to follow. So if he's looking at Shigaraki and, if he's if Shigaraki and All for One are both there and he's looking at Shigaraki and he's saying, you're not the guy that I decided to follow, then Kiko's saying, it's obvious because All for One is literally like, you know, the situation now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you understand what's going on here. You know that All for One can talk.
There should be no
me.
question.
Yeah, there's
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
it would be obvious that these two guys standing there are the same mind in some way, and it'd be obvious that Shigaraki was being controlled by this other dude who's there.
The reason why Spinner says, "Who are you? You're not the guy I agreed to follow," is because it's just Shigaraki right there.
Yes,
but he's not saying Shigaraki things. Yeah.
You know, if this was a rando, then you could chalk it up to he just doesn't know. But Spinner is privy to all this information. Like, he knows damn well what's going on. There's no way you just look at that and say, "Oh, I don't know who you are." Like that's just yeah. So.
I mean, he's certainly not. He's not. All for One is not trying to hide.
Yes.
Like Shigaraki's talking, but he is talking about himself in the third person. Like, I hold the greatest respect for Tomura's will. He says our desires will come to fruition. He's definitely like not hiding at all the fact that like All for One is who's talking and who is in play here.
But
very interesting. Yeah.
Well, and that's to basically further, confirm what Spinner is thinking, right? Like, hey, I am not Shigaraki. I am in this body, but like I respect everything that he's doing and his motivations, and we see eye to eye. Trust me, it don't look like it right now. We do. Our desires are linked and joined, and we are moving in the right direction. Yeah, you just. I don't think you need all that, and it just makes a shit ton of sense that Shigaraki was in the prison, as All for One, as Shigaraki at the same time. They were definitely there. And so, like, you see two planes. So look back, right? There's two planes.
Oh, my God.
On page 5.
Well, there the fuck you go. God damn it.
But how do you get by the biometrics without the All for One body sticking a finger into the dude's head? How is the other plane flying? There's a question there, but I don't know. You might torture. Yeah, exactly. You torture somebody to get to do it for. There's definitely ways around it, but I think the dialogue about the biometrics. I mean, you don't really give that if we just simply tortured somebody and put their eye up to the eye fucking whatever biometric scanner or whatever, and now we can fly the plane. I feel like there's maybe a little bit more, but it really doesn't matter that much. Regardless, if they're separated. I don't know. It's man. I just don't know why. Like, it feels like this is a group that Stain should be with, even if Muscular, Moonfish. And it feels like a group maybe Chisaki should even be with, right? Like, especially since Chisaki is, and we didn't have enough information. We speculated wildly last week, but like, it just feels like All for One has been, setting this plan that Chisaki has been upon in forever and ever and ever, probably long before he was an adult, maybe even, controlling the Yakuza. Like, All for One, it was controlling the Yakuza. It
makes sense that All for One would have all of the villains that we don't see in this scene with him in his plane, because he's been with them the entire time in the prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
okay. Sure.
Yeah. So it's like you guys that we've been kicking it for X amount of time. You guys all come with me. Shigaraki's got his own team. They can be together doing their League of Villains stuff.
Yeah, but they barely got a team. You got fucking Spinner. You got Dobby, who ain't even on your team. He's just chilling with you. And then you got Skeptic in the back, probably like, man, I fucked up. All my guys are dead. Yeah. And now I'm with these or arrested. And I'm glad to see Skeptic in the background, because we did ask if Skeptic actually came along. It was really hard to tell for sure. But yeah, like, it just feels like, especially like if this is your important group, this is your A team. Stain should probably be with your A team, like Chisaki. I don't know, even if Chisaki can't use his quirk anymore.
We speculated a one-man army,
but
I mean, Swiss Army knife now.
Yeah, sure, but he's recovering. He's recovering. He doesn't need a whole new He doesn't need a whole giant fight to go through again. Who knows what would happen to his body? I mean,
that's facts.
But yeah, still, I think that. Man, we just speculated so much. I thought like a lot of that stuff was like just All for One being able to give Chisaki his arms back, right? Like and stuff like that. Like, man,
that was a really cool idea. Take it from Muscular.
Yeah.
That could still be what they're cooking up. Like, you never, like, we literally, it could anything could happen.
Yeah, and maybe All for One. The potato-faced All for One is the only part of All for One that could transfer quirks. Take and transfer. No, because Shigaraki can definitely do it. He tried in the Shigaraki body, so that's not even true either.
Oh yeah, like maybe the tendrils.
Yeah, Shigaraki tried to take.
And you suck them through the tendrils, right? Pause.
No. I don't
remember how it works, but I could have sworn it was that, like, you know, really, like, you know, like Moonfish's teeth. The tendrils come out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those I think are meant to attack, but have been seen
doing force quirk activation.
Force quirk activation, not taking a quirk.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Because he does definitely go in with the palm, like trying to grab your whole face when he's trying to take your quirk. Like,
sure.
Yeah, and if that was the case, like, then, like, why would it need to be like those tendrils are clearly a long range attack. Why do you need to get in that close if the tendrils take the ability?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
What I loved on page 6, and we already touched on it a little bit, but it is Spinner's response here, right? And y'all were literally talking about this exact thing. I think it was you, Knox, saying, like, Spinner is going to be skeptical of this and be like, no, you're not who I followed. Like, I feel like one of y'all, I'm pretty sure it was you, Knox, like one of y'all literally called this exact character interaction here, which I think
building. Spinner has been skeptical of Shigaraki even already, like, before this entire situation. Like, we have a scene where Spinner and all of them are chilling, and he's like, hey man, I've been rolling with you guys because you said you were on Stain stuff. This ain't Stain stuff. Yeah, like, this ain't Stain stuff no more. Like, what's going on here? You know, and then Shigaraki was like, don't worry about it, bro, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes into, like, I think that was during My Villain Academia, or like right before the conflict started in that arc. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, like, Spinner has already been kind of like, I don't really know about it. Like, I'm down for the cause. Like, I'm already here. I built up these relationships. I care about these people. But this is so like off the rails of, like, what my original motivations were. Like, he's about to, like, really, like, we're about to get some real Spinner shit. Like, some real, like, it's been building for so long, and when it hits, it's gonna hit, bro.
Well, and that's another question too. It's like, was Spinner and Dabi and Skeptic in compress balls this entire time? Like, when hell no, they weren't. They popped out of compress balls because compress got knocked the fuck out and apprehended. So, like, they definitely weren't in compress balls when they went into Tartarus. So Spinner went into Tartarus and saw Stain, right? Theoretically, presumably, like, why didn't Spinner just go with Stain then? You know, like, we gotta go back to the prison. I need to know what happened in that prison.
Wouldn't have had a chance to see Stain.
Yeah, maybe it was just strategically set up that way. Like, All for One didn't allow Spinner to see Stain. You know, there's definitely some of that could have happened, but, like, man, it's just still so weird to leave us on a cliffhanger that looks like Shigaraki could possibly try to wrestle away control back, and then we just boom, here we are, 5 a.m, chilling on the lawn with Nomu here, and we did it. We got away. No prisoners are with us. They're all with Potato Face, All for One, elsewhere. But, like, just us 3 or 4 of us, we're just chilling. Like, we just left.
All we get is Shigaraki or All for One saying, "What a thrilling day we've had."
Exactly. Like, it's just, it feels like, I mean, and again, it's okay as long as we go back to it at some point within the near future. Within 20 chapters is the near future to me.
Sure.
I think we would get something like that. I think that we would get something like that
within
way
5
sooner than 20.
5 to 10. Yeah. Sure. I agree. But, like, even if it's within that long, I feel like anything 20 weeks past is, like, man, hard to remember at that point, right? So you definitely have to, like, go back and refresh yourself, no matter what story it is, even usually, so, like,
I don't know. I feel like Oda be dropping, like, 400 chapter later bombs. True.
But we just everybody cares about One Piece so much more than everything else. It's like, so we just know what's going on, but, like, I just really think we need it. We can't just be, this can't be it. Like, you can't just show All for One now with Impel down, rounded up, and he's about to crash in the middle of Marineford. Like, we don't need, we need more than that. Like, it can't just do that, like.
I'm very confident.
But anyway, how about
more?
We can maybe move on to the hospital stuff.
How do you guys? Okay, so how do you guys feel about Gran Torino? Did we know that Gran Torino was alive?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
and that's.
I think we did. I think it was.
We saw him alive
kind of
again.
It looked like he did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he
it
said
looked like he
words
did.
after the fact.
He did say words, and we talked about how, he's probably going to die, later on, operating table or whatever.
Yeah, like
just
Night Eye,
after he's been carted away, like he was going to die. Like we definitely talked about that. And I feel like your question was, does this suck that he's still alive? And I feel like
how do you guys feel? Yeah.
It sucks. It's not good.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's so weird. We lives.
We got stakes stuff, you know what I mean? We got Midnight dying, we got Endeavor severely injured, Aizawa lost a leg, you know what I mean? So
Midnight,
it's like, I don't know.
Midnight's I'm not saying we didn't have stakes, because we definitely have stakes, but like Midnight being the biggest character that died, and you don't even really get any good, character time with Midnight that I ever remember. That's not just her teaching the students or anything. Not really too much of a reason, other than she was a good teacher.
From Midnight is her losing to Mineta in that one exam.
Yeah, exactly, and that's terrible. And it's like, her being the biggest character to die here, and for her to not even really have, it's like for a character-driven story that fucking Hero is, to have the biggest hero die, not even have like any kind of sufficient character arc for us to really care about her that much.
Yeah.
Gran Torino needed to fucking die, because that's the one we cared about, right?
It feels shallow that Midnight is the biggest one that died and we barely know anything about her, but at the same time it goes back to a point that I made like back when like Exless died, you know what I mean? Like that's somebody's favorite hero out there, and society's opinion on things matters
not
so
any
much.
Readers.
Right. Exactly. That was also a point in a joke that we made, you know what I mean, back then. You know what I mean? It's like we don't give a fuck about Exless. We don't give a fuck about half of these random heroes that were evaporated. Crust. Yeah, well, like whatever. Yeah. I fuck with Crust. I don't care.
No,
I fuck with Crust. I personally.
I fuck with Majestic. I liked Majestic.
Majestic was cool as hell.
Okay.
Actually, I did like Majestic.
So sure. You can definitely, and yes, and I agree. It would have hit harder if characters that the reader cares about more died. Absolutely. I personally feel like Gran Torino's death would have been fine right there. But obviously Kohei has more for his character, and I'm excited to see what else he has for him. Do I think it's awkward?
Sure.
Yes. But what makes it feel a little bit less awkward is how involved society is in the story. We constantly see their opinions. Society's opinions affect the main cast so often that like people reacting to the deaths of Midnight, even though we didn't know her all that well, could be a bigger deal in the narrative after now that she's gone. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, the students are going to be affected significantly because that's their teacher. Yeah. Yes, it sucks for us, but at least we'll see that ripple out in, more ways, in the story than just the shock value of the death and then how we feel about it, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Well, and I felt like this was a good spot. Like, Eraserhead and fucking President Mike are talking about her. Like, just do it right then. Like, right now, have those two fucking flashback about all their good times with fucking Midnight.
Yeah, that would be good.
It was served on a fucking silver platter to happen, and I thought it was going to happen, and it didn't happen. I was just like, why am I supposed to care that much?
The window is closing. Though? The window is quickly
closing. Yes. Yeah.
So, but anyway, how about Aizawa looks a lot like Lieutenant Dan right here, right? Like from fucking Forrest Gump, like missing a leg. Look at him. That's fucking Lieutenant Dan, bro.
I haven't thought about that in so long.
Yeah. And man, Foghorn Leghorn being their doctor doesn't help me out too much either. I do not love that. I said,
your leg is gone.
Yeah. It's just like, bro, like this literally looks like the fucking chicken that fucking Peter Griffin fights. Like,
yeah.
Why did we? Come on, man. Come on, Horikoshi. Come on, man. Like,
I love that. You want to know why I love that? Because this character's design does not matter at all, and it's cool to see right here, right? Because it's funny, man. That is funny.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about what this doctor looks like. He's here to give us the line of dialogue, and we'll never see him again, probably.
But they and the translator really missed the fucking, big. I say, your leg's gone there, boy. Like that would have been dead.
Because Time Warner would have been like, hey, wait a minute now.
Yeah, we already see what you're trying to do with Marvel here already. Like,
Yeah, Warner Brothers would have been like, all right, we need 20,000 for that reference, bro.
So Shoto is super burned. Very burned.
And I love how they say like he can't talk because his like throat is burned. Like injuries like those, like that's just like how thorough of a writer Kohei is that he'll give you like it doesn't even make sense for a fire user to have injuries related to fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like
that's how hot the fire was.
That's how hot the fire was. And you know, it's a different like you never hear that. I can't talk, my throat's burned. I got engulfed by fire. Yeah, I got engulfed by fire, but it's always usually aesthetic stuff that goes away by the next chapter or something.
Right,
you know?
right.
But like that's a great touch.
Yes. Inhaling fucking combustion or whatever, fucking fumes and all that shit is definitely going to damage your throat and lungs and all that shit.
Those are like, things that writers just ignore because it's like your disbelief, your belief is already suspended. You know what I mean? Because it's a fantasy story, so like we can get away with things like that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
But
I love Shoto like really remembering Star Servant's fucking words as Star Servant was being hauled off to jail. Like it really makes a shit ton of sense to like, especially like when we just had fucking the Phantoms here with the fucking fire and Iori using the bigger fucking shadows of the like it just the what type of shadows fire casts, you know, like it's just really his shining light beckons the dark, you know, like
sure
that shit slaps,
that's a big line.
Yeah,
that shit slaps, bro. Yeah,
and I love how he I love this page 16, like the close up and like I have to be the one to handle my brother Toya. Like damn, like I'm actually more excited for Todoroki than I think I've ever been in the whole series.
Yeah, because it's at least for me, when Todoroki's character was introduced, it's like you hate your dad, and then you know Deku kind of like helps him over that, and then you're like okay, well. His character is done now. He's part of the team. He's not the same character. He's more chill now. He's not as edgy. You know what I mean? Like he's just Todoroki. Then you're like, all right, that's cool. I'm ready for him to just be a part of the team. I liked that about him before, but if it's gone now, whatever. I'm ready for the next phase of his character arc. And then no, his story's not over with his family. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? And then I thought that then his character arc was going to finish with him forgiving his family, and then everything is no. Now his arch nemesis is his brother. You know what I mean? It just keeps getting bigger for the Todoroki family, and it almost makes me feel like did Kohei want to like make Todoroki the main character of this? You know what I mean? And
My Shoto Academia is the new name of the story, dude. Bro. Like it's been, dude. I feel like it's been for a good period of time.
I haven't felt like it's been like that. I feel like it's weird to have such
he's the only one where a quirk marriage actually worked. Right, well, like
here's my thing is that like and we can come back to this in a second, but like my thing with Todoroki,
we don't have to.
Yeah, okay, well then we don't have to. But like my whole thing with Todoroki is that I thought it was, you know, like I thought it was weird that like Bakugo is obviously the rival and the secondary main character. Obviously, you're trying to show this like big three kind of, or big four if you want to include Kirishima, even though he's not. You know, it's clearly like this is the big three. You know what I mean? And it's weird that Bakugo, the second to Midoriya. He gets a lot of character focus, don't get me wrong. Bakugo is one hell of a character in this story, but like you can't compare to like the what we've seen from Todoroki and his like you know what I mean? Like he's a bigger character in the narrative than Bakugo, even though he's third. Like that's cool. Yeah,
well, and Bakugo is Bakugo is just overcoming himself, right? Like that's all it really is. It's like he's just getting himself he's in his own way most of the time, right? And he's overcoming himself where it's like man, Shoto has everything. Deku don't have like Shoto has like all of the things that like you would get in a MC of a shonen story. Which it is cool to do that because it's like, man, if you know maybe Deku isn't your favorite character, like it gives you three options to kind of root for within the story, and they all feel like a main character in their own rights in different times. So like that is a cool, definitely a cool thing I think of because it's like you're almost so okay. We don't want to do Naruto. We don't want to do a regular rival 1v1 all the way up the ladder forever and ever, and those are the only two characters that matter. Let's throw in a third one, so it kind of feels like maybe like a One Piece monster trio almost thing, but like grow in different directions that make sense. And like I mean it's just kind of a new way to you never really see like a third rival, and even though it's like he's not a rival, but he is for like for screen time, right? Like he is a rival of screen time. So I mean it's cool. I actually do like it, and
it's cool. It's just weird. It's just different. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And I have always been on the fence about Shoto, but not really about his character. It's always been more of the fact that there's more Endeavor, their family situation, and it just seems weird how, he became basically what I feel like everybody should be doing. But anyway, like,
what if we get an arc? What if we get an arc that tells us a gang of people try to do this? You know what I mean? But they are either the ones that try to do it for nefarious purposes, and then we get, an arc later where it's a bunch of, quirk marriage, kids that are all in a faction. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're all, they have some kind of beef with the system for whatever reasons that come from that. Or it could be a situation where the reason why we don't see them is because if you are clearly, suspected or something of quirk marriage and you don't have the status of Endeavor, they say, fuck you. Sure. You aren't, this is weird. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So they don't want the public, eye to
That's
see.
The best explanation, really, is that you have to be in a position of Endeavor to even get away with this kind of shit. To begin with. Like, that's man, I wish somebody would say that, though. I wish somebody would fucking say that, because it's just like, man, it's just
you
like,
want that hard confirmation in the series.
You can't have a 300 chapter story and talk about quirk marriages like they're a thing and only show one character that has it successfully done and never really mention about it ever anywhere else, and not give us the science behind it or really anything, other than my dad's a dickhead. He bred us, and that's that. He did it.
What if Dobby is going to go round up all the quirk marriage kids and make a faction of them to like fight Endeavor with, like, your ideals?
He would take the broken ones, though, right? He wouldn't take the finished products, right?
Oh, like, sure, yeah. I mean, whatever. But I mean, like, that would be like just like such a crazy coup d'etat for Dobby to be like, I'm going to go kill my dad right now with an army of like the abominations that he lived his life to create. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be a super poetic final confrontation for like Dobby and the Todoroki family, and that would answer your questions on quirk marriages and why we don't see more. I think that would be crazy, but also at the same time, I feel like it makes more sense based on how, the society is structured in My Hero Academia, to just say, we sweep these cases under the rug and they don't get accepted to UA unless you're Endeavor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But
Okay.
Wow.
And then
so
Coma.
someone screenshotted this and then quoted the Project Manga Twitter and said, Nick predicted this. I'm wondering.
Which one?
Just this last panel that Deku was going to be in a coma, and he's like,
A lot of people were in that episode. A lot of people in the chat too were talking coma and stuff like that. Was not my idea, but really.
The reason why I brought that up, not to like flex, I wasn't bringing that up to flex. I mean, you definitely did, call that, but a lot of people, did. The reason why is because he also said, I wonder, what other of their, predictions from that My Hero Academia one shot is going to come true. Do you guys remember?
Sure.
Do you guys remember like any other like theories from that episode? Just like off the, like, just in case, like, I don't know.
I said everything last chapter. I called last chapter almost the entire way from front to back. Like, and that's why I was just like, when this chapter came out,
I know that there's more things we said that I feel like happened. Yeah.
I just I just needed this last chapter to keep going. I wanted that chapter to go forever. I never wanted that chapter to stop.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm just remembering that one shot, and I'm like, man, we said a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
it was very theory heavy. Yeah. So like, if people haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on YouTube.
I mean, and I talked a lot about us getting government information, which we still not had. Again, that's another thing. This skipped a whole step of my.
No. I don't think it skipped it. We're getting light touches of it. I think what we're expecting is like an exposition dump, but I think what Kohei is doing is giving little exposition, shovelings.
We didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about it at all in this chapter, but it is actually a very small part, and it's because it's the very first page. First page, second page. The Public Safety Commission was trying to, work with Denorat, because they're like, okay, we see the shit you're making over there. Like, now we need some joint work to get, like, we need to get in with Denorat, basically, the government, the Public Safety Commission. So, like, all for one, man, I don't know if, like, this is all part of his plan as well, because it's like Shiggy going and getting, Redestro and their whole squad. It's like, there's a good enough a little bit to make me feel like we'll get more here in the next chapter or two. But like, obviously that wasn't enough for me for just this chapter, but you at least get something. You at least get something. Hey, Public Safety Commission working with Denorat. They're trying to make a joint development project for like, I mean, Denorat already made, hero, support gear, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So like
that was the main thing that we were getting from Denorat, wasn't it? Was
that stuff.
That was their like front, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's really, and that's the thing. It's like, that's why I felt like, I mean, Denorat. I mean, you get Trumpet, who was a high-ranking member and on the board of Denorat, and he's a fucking what do they call it? Just generals or whatever, obviously of the new Liberation Army, and then just having Redestro be, the CEO of this company that's heavily working with the government to do joint development projects to build. It's like, that is a politician, right? Like, especially in America, right? Like that is exactly what a politician is Redestro too. Like, it's just like, I felt like this is everything, the direction we needed to take. Like we just barely grazed the surface. And I was like, when I read this right away, I'm like, yep. Hell yeah, here we go. Yep. And then we cut back to the fucking prison shit, and I'm like, okay, fine, we didn't get it here, but here's the prison shit I wanted. And then we go to the hospital, and I'm just like, I didn't get neither.
So are you gonna be okay if this is how this information is delivered to us throughout the series?
Yes.
Like, where we don't get like
we get it all.
Right, okay. So you're cool with, as long as we get all the information, you're cool with it being broken up into chunks that you have to go back and reference and get the whole picture. But like, obviously we want just a whole chapter or 2 or 3 of just heavy exposition dumps inside of the government. At least one.
And I never expected all that, but like, just 4 pages in this chapter. Yeah. And then you could jump back around 4 pages in the next, and you just get enough. And I guess that's kind of a lot, I would say, back to back, like 4 pages in the next like 5 chapters straight, because I felt like I even said that, like, I feel like it was going to jump back and forth between government and what's happening with UA, because it's really almost one and the same. I mean, the government and UA are really UA is an extension of the government, basically, right? So like, I felt like it just would all trickle down nicely to like, you actually like start way out here. I got to back up for this, and like you keep moving the information in until it connects together, right? Like it starts kind of farther out. Like, that's kind of how I felt like it was going to go, which it almost is like that here, but it's like, no, we get like 7 pages of hospital time. That was cool, but I just didn't think
it's to be expected.
It shouldn't.
Yeah,
I just didn't think it should be 2 chapters after the conclusion. I felt like it should have been 5-6 chapters after the conclusion, where we're really starting to look at this stuff, because it's just like, man, it's just like, if we got more Tartarus, we didn't need it all. We got more government stuff, we don't need it all. We just needed more. I would have been really happy with that direction, but it's fine if we get it.
Yeah.
But if this is almost it, maybe we get a tiny flashback of what really happened at Tartarus just at the end. We don't get any government shit whatsoever, because we totally could just never explore it, because that's the direction this chapter took, basically, is we have just a tiny fucking sliver of Public Safety Commission fucking, they did a joint project with fucking Denorat. Obviously that makes sense. They make hero fucking gear anyway. Like, but it was more about like Redestro's character, like, oh yeah, like both my rage side of me and my real side of me, both for one time I had both faces that were overjoyed at the same time. Like, that's not something that's like kind of how Redestro's quirk works, basically. Like, he compiles all his fucking rage on the side, stress, and it has like, he is effectively living 2 lives at all times just to maintain his quirk, basically.
So, like, an interesting thing about that, right? So, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but, like, this scene we're seeing at the beginning of this chapter with Redestro, he says on page 1, like, there, ever since our holy war in Deka City, there have literally been 2 of me. Like, and now what you were saying, is figurative. But this Redestro in page 2 and 3 is, like, a stress shell. He melts in page 3. He's not even there. His other body is elsewhere because this is where does it say this? While the Jakku hospital raid was happening. So like Redestro's at the mansion and he's also in this building.
Yeah.
Which I like. I don't understand.
I don't understand that either
at all, and I don't understand why you bring it up. Like, why even have the scene? I don't. Is he gonna do this? You're totally again?
Right. He melts away completely, and I did not. I didn't tie those together. Like,
it wasn't figurative. Like, yes, he does figuratively have two phases, but he says literally, and he melts away. Like, so I'm like I don't get it.
Yo. I'm sure it's good not to get it though. At the end of the day, even though as long as one day we get the information to get it, I think But I just because we don't get it now doesn't mean like obviously this is going to make sense somewhere along the line. But like Redestro's been apprehended. Like that's the other thing too. Like we went to Tartarus and now we went to all these other prisons to break people out. But like they just apprehended. What was the number? Like 17,000 fucking villains or some crazy shit. Yeah, some crazy number. It's like, did you save any of those people? Like, was that part of this mission? I mean, it doesn't feel like it.
All for One does say in this chapter, what did he say? The sudden rash of violent escapees should hamper the authorities pursuing me. He actually was not looking to rescue anyone. Yeah. He was looking to sow chaos to get them off his trail so he could have Shigaraki rest and so he could, escape or whatever.
I feel like out of all these other prisons, right? Bagu prison, Kuin prison, Xi'an prison. Yeah, like that makes sense that he's just those are regular small time crooks in those prisons where it feels like anybody you acquire at Tartarus is somebody you want on your team.
Yes,
like just feel So,
agreed. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I agree with that.
But he's not like trying to like save Redestro or whatever. I don't.
They don't care about Redestro.
Yeah.
Redestro's a stepping
stone. Not now. Not in this current time or whatever.
I agree. But I'm just saying, the head CEO of the fucking most foremost hero weapons support gear inventors, like that's a very very important person to have on your team.
Up to a certain point in your plan. I feel like after a certain point, it's just going to be, I'm the strongest thing on this planet and nothing can stop me. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't need political.
And what kind of, whatever, what I mean? Like, I think that All for One is at a point now where it's like, fuck dead or not. It's All for One and that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. But man, I just want politics, man.
Yeah, we gonna get that shit, man. We got little breadcrumbs.
How about? Yeah, they're kind of there, but so how about Deku in the coma? We could talk about it. I think it's really good. Like, right? Like, I mean, just like, what do we think? Like,
biggest questions I have: when is Deku going to wake? When do you guys think Deku's going to wake up? And what do you guys think his mom? How do you guys think his mom is going to feel about this?
Well, obviously, we can go to the second one first. I mean, that's easy. She's going to hate this whole situation. She's going to want him to quit being a hero immediately kind of thing. I mean, for sure. Yep. Now,
she already did once.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing... Well, I know you want to gloss over that, but the reason why I'm bringing it up for a reason, because if we already got a whole scene dedicated to Midoriya's mom saying, you guys have no idea what you're doing over there. I don't want my son in your school. You know what I mean? And All Might goes into his buff form, even though he's out of buff form, to show respect and bow and say, I got your son. Like, I promise you, we're going to hold him down.
I think I see where you're going with this.
And now this man is in a coma. His mom is obviously going to find out and come to see him in this coma. That conversation isn't just going to be, my son's in more danger, All Might. And he's just going to be like, my bad, I'll try not to let it happen again. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be a big deal. You know what I mean? Like
she might make it like go to the media.
Yeah.
And be like, look at what they did to my son. Like they sent a boy to apprehend these criminals.
And this is after All Might himself bowed to me in Tall Might form and told me, I have nothing to worry. Like I could totally see her turning the fuck all the way up for this. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. Yeah. Very good point. Very good point. We could get
a Moms Against All Might committee. You know what I'm saying? Like we could get all types of shit.
Moms Against UA and Moms Against there could be a lot of things in play with very angry Midoriya's mom, for sure.
Because I just don't think that you have that scene from 95 or chapter 100 or whatever it was, just to put Deku in a way worse situation that his mom has to be aware about. Like, she has to be there. Come see her son in this situation. Yeah. So like, what? She's just gonna be like, charge it to the game because All Might came and talked to me before, so I just have to trust. Like, no, this is maternal stuff now. You know what I mean? So,
You always think like, man, Japanese people, like, they're such a respectful people. They respect and they just like live by honor and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking like, this is America. Moms would be wilding. Moms are shooting people in America over this.
For sure.
It's like, I don't. You think like, man, I do agree with everything you say, but it's like initially I was like, man, maybe there is some kind of way to like, I don't know, console her and make her, think that there is a possibility.
I do have a way, actually. I do have a way. Shit. I think this could work. She comes here, she sees Midoriya, right? She's obviously super upset, like really upset, right? That's when All Might has to literally go, let me level with you here.
Deal. Yeah,
he's actually the guy. He's actually the chosen one. He's the one bastion we have against all of the shit that just happened. You need to let me keep going with him. Yeah, he's our only hope.
And then she's like, he's the chosen one? Who chose him?
I did.
It's fucking like angry mom punch. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what I mean? That could work. But besides that, I don't really see much out
I think that is the only way that it goes at this point, because it has to be a different conversation.
Exactly.
And it has to be so different that like you can't even try to say that this is the same situation. And the only way to do that is by saying, okay, look, I'm All Might. Your son is All Might now. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So how long the coma will be. Yes. Now here's where I think it's pretty likely we'll immediately jump scene here. Like just as like we're saying, Kiko, like you have this huge cliffhanger at the end of Tartarus, right? Like, oh damn, shit's about to go down. Change scenes entirely, right? We have here we go, boom, Midoriya's in a coma. Oh my god, cliffhanger. Change scenes. Yes. Really piss him off, right? Really get that cliffhanger teeth into your soul, you know what I mean? Yeah. So then boom, we can like immediately switch scenes. Now, how long is he gonna be in the coma? I don't know. We were hypothesizing on the one shot like long time potentially, right? Like he could get taken to America, have him chill in a hospital in America for some months or whatever, you know what I mean?
I could totally see that. It's like, yo, these motherfuckers are trying to get one for all from you. Yeah. And you are not, you can't move. They just broke out of prison. And they broke everyone else out of prison. They're probably coming here right now. Let's get this kid out of the country, maybe.
Or even Mrs. Midoriya. She's like, no, fuck that. We're done with UA. We're done with Japan. We're done with all this shit. Let's get the fuck out of there. And she just takes her fucking comatose son somehow across seas.
Yeah. She has all the legal right to do that.
Yeah, probably. I would think so, yeah.
He's like 15.
Yeah.
For sure.
If she says, yo, we're bouncing to Canada, Midoriya has to go.
Yeah, and like obviously, like All Might would want to go with, right? And would she be like so angry that she would be like, I don't want any hero involvement at all, or would she be willing to take hero involvement to protect her son? Like I could see going either way. Yeah. Damn.
I don't know. I feel like he's waking up via danger sense, though, right? Like something's going off.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That shakes him out of his coma. But like, I mean, man, what if he was comatose for like a whole year? Like, what is that? You got atrophy going on. You got like
all types of shit.
What does that even do? Like, I don't know. Like being in a coma that long and like coming out of a coma, like that's. I mean, even if it's like 6 months, like that just seems like so long to like basically not be alive and be kept,
well, I mean, much happens in 6 months in this story. You know what I mean? Like that's a really fucking big deal to be out for 6 months in My Hero Academia.
Yeah. So I don't know, but if we're cutting anywhere, it better be the goddamn government.
And with that,
that'd be the fucking Dogbert talking to somebody out there about
Police
some high level
Commissioner Dogbert. I would love to see that man again. I love his design. It's such a like. I remember it back then too. Like it was such a highly detailed dog face. You know what I mean? I was like, usually you get like Foghorn Leghorn levels of detail, like we saw earlier in this chapter. Whenever there's a humanoid animal in a story, you know what I mean? But like, Police Commissioner Dogbert was detailed as shit.
Have we seen a cat person? I think we have, like a humanoid. I think he was also with Dogbert, but I was just like, that would make sense to go to Catbert, fucking Prime Minister, right? Because like, especially because that ties into like that's like a homage to Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball. Like every mayor of the city was a cat. Like I swear they were a cat, and you got.
I think there's dog ones too.
Course, yeah, there might have been.
I don't remember though.
I remember the biggest one is blowing up West City. The first time a city is blown up by King Piccolo as a cat is the mayor of the city.
Sure.
So like, I don't know. You got important cats out there. You got Corin.
Corin.
I'll be with it.
Shouts to Corin and Luna, man.
Yeah.
You guys good?
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. What a discussion tonight. Yeah, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. If you did, slap a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Hit the notification bell so that we can chirp you when the new content is live. And make sure that you visit the description down below so that you can follow us on our social media profiles, join our Discord and other online communities, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff, and support us through our online store and our Patreon, which gives you all kinds of perks, and bang for your buck and whatnot. But that will do it for this episode of the Project Manga Podcast. Wrapping up, I'm Knox.
Peace, y'all. It's Kiko.
And Nickums.
We'll catch y'all next time.